Yep, just go ahead and run the sizzle reel. It's not Christmas Day, but it's close. Baseball is back at LakePoint Sports, and we have coverage all weekend long for you from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. And there is no better way to start things off than what we got for you today on this Friday afternoon. Walton, the number 21 team in prep baseball, Georgia's Power 25, taking on Blessed Trinity, the second-ranked team in the state. So this one figures to be a lot of fun. Some serious talent in this one, which we'll have a lot of time to get into a little bit later on. We've got first pitch scheduled for around 4 p.m. today, so appreciate you joining us. And when athletes come here to LakePoint Sports, they try to get a sense of what it really means to be here at LakePoint and to be able to do stuff at a place that's unlike anything else in the country. And a big part of that now is Curve Test Centers, which offers its ball, body, and brain approach to performance testing, giving athletes the opportunity to see how they measure up and how they can get better and make themselves the exact kind of player that programs are looking for across the country. So let's take a look at Curve Test Center, the first of its kind.
So the test center is about 10,000 square feet, and it's designed in 3 sections: a ball section, a body section, and a brain section. We start with ball. I actually think body logically comes first, but we start with ball because we want players to come in having warmed up however they're comfortable so that they're hitting and throwing in a state where they feel best prepared to be successful. We have 2 TrackMan-enabled batting cages. We can either pitch or hit in either. For hitters, they're seeing pitches that are set for their age group off a hack attack, an automatic feeder. They get 3 sets of 8 pitches. They get plenty of time to see the pitches to warm up. and set the pitch to where they want it. And we're really trying to help kids do their best. And then they get 24 swings with some breaks in between, and we take their very best results there. We're trying to help kids show what they're capable of. Similarly for pitching, we throw 24 pitches, 12 out of the windup, 12 out of the stretch. Each set has got 8 fastballs and 8 off-speed pitches. Kids can throw whatever they want, so they can show off their full repertoire to their college coaches. All right, the body area starts here. Kids will have thrown or hit, but they may not be sprint ready. So we give them all the time they need to do whatever dynamic warm-up and stretching they need to get sprint ready before the body test starts, and we test their explosiveness and agility. First thing, we move in our body test from speed to slow strength. So we start here in our sprint tunnel. These are Swift laser gates. Wonderful system because as nearly as we can figure out, you can't cheat it. The player stands here, armed, and the timing only starts when they go. They can't do anything where they're waving hands in front of lasers. Their body has to get all the way through, so we get really fair scores for people. We run a 30. We run a 30-yard shuttle run. From sprinting, we come over here to the Swift jump mat. I think many people will know that key to generating power in sports is ground reaction forces. Best way to measure that is a vertical jump test. This is, we think, the best vertical jump mat tester in the world. From here, we come to the Proteus motion machine. We're here early in the morning, so the Proteus motion machine isn't on, but we've designed a 6-exercise test of speed, of power, and strength. The advantage of the Proteus motion machine is that it can test athletic movement in any plane of motion. So the kind of things you do in baseball, we can test, right? All right, really just find somebody's power generation. This is enormously predictive. Frankly, if I have the Proteus results, I don't need to ask how hard a kid throws or hits. I can tell you. We also do a grip dynamometer test. And then that is the end of the body section. So the body section takes another 10, 11, 12 minutes, plus however long somebody takes to warm up. Lastly, we head to the brain test. The brain test has 2 parts to it. It has the Cognitive Thrive test, which is an FDA-approved test that measures mental processing speed and visual processing speed. But the highlight is something we call the hybrid reality chamber. Let me show you that. The hybrid reality chamber is not on, but as I said earlier, the magic of this test is
how much longer does that video have?
How well the brain does athletic things. So you can see what we have here is a system that gives an athletic challenge to players, in this case catching ping pong balls and sorting them into
well, the game's getting ready to start.
We have video screens that make that hard mentally in different ways. So the athletic challenge isn't hard. The mental challenge
just go ahead and cut to the game.
And it's really been a fascinating thing to see how different.
Come on with us. We're going to actually jump into game action a little bit earlier than we anticipated. Getting started, we had a 4 o'clock. Now joined by Hudson Graham from Prep Baseball Georgia. We're getting a look now at Cameron Novak on the mound for Blessed Trinity. He's facing off against Walker Killamette from Walton. Hudson, good to have you back, man. I know you guys have had a lot of build-up towards this event weekend. Obviously, the coverage that you guys do at the high school level for Prep Baseball Georgia, unprecedented. Nobody does it quite like you guys do. What's this weekend like for you to kind of take it all in?
It's one of our favorite times of the year, just like this. BT versus Walton, first game, 4 o'clock first pitch on a beautiful Friday. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. And that's going on every one of these fields. So we count down the days to it. We've been building out the schedules and building out who we need to see, where we need to go. We got 5 or 6 scouts bouncing around covering games. So the coverage is gonna be unmatched this week, that's for sure. Everything from uncommitted seniors like Cam Novak here on the mound to uncommitted juniors as Walker Killamette here is coming up in a sec for Walton. But, man, it's going to be fun chasing the underclass guys as well. So this is a big 2 weekends for us to build our spring schedule.
So it looks like the lineup actually got switched from what we were initially given. We had Killamette leading off
with
I thought so
Matthew
too. Harbor hitting second, but we're going to get a switch there, and we already have one down in the inning, and now we're going to have our base runner at first. Now we're going to get Jackson Taylor. Man, you talk about special players in the Clemson commit, now signee, who's a past future gamer here in Georgia. This kid pretty much has it all.
Yeah, one of our better stories, honestly, one of my favorite stories from Jackson Taylor. Man, we kind of knew about him. Obviously, you see there he's standing 6'2", 6'3" now, and a really filled out frame. And a year and a half ago, 2 years, it was a lot skinnier, wasn't quite that size. But he shows up at top prospect games and puts on an absolute show in BP. We're on field 16. He's putting balls over the kiosk, and truly one of the most impressive rounds I've seen. And from there, it landed him a spot on Team Select at the future games, and the rest is kind of history. He took 5 Power 5 visits right after that, Oregon, Clemson, you name it, he got a visit to with those 5. So, man, it's been an awesome story from Jackson.
One of the interesting things when a guy does commit early like he does and is so quickly off the board is the showcase environment is no longer something that they have any inclusion in. And so the numbers that we end up having on them on the prep baseball side end up being a little bit dated.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at other services too. They've got him running around a 6'8" with a 90-plus bat speed. I would imagine those numbers are a little bit higher up.
Definitely.
For him at this point, it's standing at 6'3", 188 pounds.
Yeah, I know the guys at Clemson are really excited about him. It's a great fit. Your typical ball player type guy that Coach Backage over there is going to do a really good job with.
Again, we got Cameron Novak on the mound for Blessed Trinity, and there's going to be a lot of oxygen extended this weekend over Blessed Trinity, and for good reason, because as I mentioned, the number 2 team in Prep Baseball Georgia's Power 25. I don't know defensively, is this the best infield in the state?
It's got to be. It's got to be, and it's one of the toughest lineups to pitch to in the state, too. Obviously, Etowah is going toe-to-toe with them for that kind of title, obviously the 1-2 in our Power 25. But, man, there are some tough outs in this lineup. You have the Zagrin twins, which I think one of them might be out with an injury still, or is he back in there? Yeah, it looks like one of them's still out, but man, it's so competitive. The lineup's so competitive with Terrence Bowen, Caden Dawson, Wesley Bass, Cade Kiz, the list goes on, and then not to mention you got a freshman that's jumped in there behind the dish in Gavin Green, as Jackson Taylor has one of his normal pull side singles after a tough at bat.
Yeah, you talk about how talented. I mean, you get down to the 5th guy in their lineup, which we'll get into a little bit here, and you talk about Aiden Zagara not being in the lineup. I mean, they're just so deep. It's just, and then you had Terrence Bowen coming over from Alexander, which I think. You talk about guys that can ultimately impact how the rest of the state is going to look and things playing out from a tournament. Once we get into tournament play,
yeah.
I mean, Blessed Trinity was good. Now they're absolutely elite.
Yeah, and they've also got a arm number 2 player in Michigan, 2027, Aiden Pack, that is also in the mix now. So we'll get to see him this weekend. And then I've heard rumblings of Joseph Contreras being low, even bumping some mid-90s.
Wow.
So he took off all summer, went to work, and obviously I believe it's paid off. So he's definitely one to see this weekend, as well as Aiden Pack, who's a newcomer to the state.
You mentioned Terrence Bowen. There he is, number 24. He was just at Super 60. You and I were both in Chicago. Got to spend some time with Terrence there. And I asked him, I said, you guys ready for Walton? He goes, we're ready for everybody.
I would say. I think the pitching was the biggest question mark for me coming into the season. But with that Aiden Pack and Contreras was going to be a huge piece. He really needed to step up in order to give this team what they needed. And I believe that's sounding like it's going to happen. So yeah, look for them to compete for that 1-2 spot. Them and Etowah, I think they could go back and forth. Obviously, we'll see what happens, but both have a freshman in the lineup in Colin Anderson, and then you got Gavin Green back there, who's a really fun player. We've got a chance to follow him over the years in our youth tournaments and in a couple Rising Stars events. So cool to see him to get in there. And then, funny enough, they got a couple other 28s and 27s right behind these guys ready to play. So some of these guys would be starting anywhere else in the state, but they're at BT and did not get into the mix. So
Wealth of talent. And that one is laced into left field. Runner's going to hold at third. That was William Crowell. We already saw Parker Dastu, the Mercer signee, popped out to right field.
Yeah, this Walton lineup's really experienced. It's kind of the same group that's in there, was in there last year for the most part. So I like what they have going on. For them, the mound's going to be the You know, a little bit of a question mark too, but that's everybody, honestly. Not many guys in the state have, you know, the 1-2-3 punch that, say, you know, Brookwood did last year. And actually just saw Charlie Foster got the opening day start from Mississippi State. So
wow.
that's cool to see. But, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that was an absolutely loaded rotation, to say the least. Now we got Devin Crone, 5'10", 170-pounder, 30th ranked outfielder in Georgia, 121 overall in the class of 26.
He just got a bit of a bump. We got to see him at preseason All-State, kind of first time we got to see him in that setting, and had a really strong round of BP. Just, as you can tell, athletic frame really put together, so expect a big year from him.
Waiting in the on-deck circle, I know one of your favorites, Todd Haley.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Todd was the same way. He was at preseason All-State as well, had a great showing. He's been talking to quite a few schools, been trying to help him out, trying to get him to a spot. Man, he's one of those, the same thing like Jackson Taylor. They're just so consistent, swinging it from the left side. He's got a chance to put up some power numbers, but he's also a guy that hits for average too. So he's definitely one of the uncommitted guys to follow this weekend.
Novak works that in there for a strike. Count is now 1-1 to Crone.
I got to see Novak last year in a playoff start against North Forsyth, and he's another just really polished pitcher. Throws a lot of strikes. Obviously getting hit a little bit right now, but that's going to come with guys that throw strikes like him. And really good breaking ball there is they're going to check him. Said he did not go. So yeah, throws a lot of strikes. Good off-speed pitches. I think he'll definitely land somewhere where he probably wants to be soon.
2020 junior feature game. We've got him around 88 on the fastball. I think he's kind of pretty much holding there. Also, I guess that curveball at 73, 78, change up around 78 to 79. Gets that in for a strike at 82-2. Yeah, defensively behind him, we've got Carson Zagarin playing first base. Today at second base is Davis Peterson, the spot normally held by Aiden Zagarin. And then at third base today, Cade Kiz, and you got Terrence Bowen playing shortstop. He's going to make his way down to first base, and here comes the first run for Walton off the bases loaded walk. Gavin Green behind the plate, and then the outfield is Wesley Bass in left field. And then we're going to have, who do we have lifted in center field? We've got Quinn Davis in center field today, and then in right field is Caden Dawson, the #1 player in the state in the class of 2027.
Quinn Davis is one that to really keep an eye on. He's super athletic, big football guy at BT. Finally getting into the mix consistently this year. So he's one that I suspect to have a breakout year.
Todd Haley, first pitch swinging,
there
ropes that down the left side. Todd Haley scoring. No, he's not going to make it across as Todd Haley's going to get Cade Kiz gunning him down at first base. Nice play off a third for him, and we are through a half an inning. 1-0 is the lead for Walton. We'll be back. You are watching the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. Keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the man in command, come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Going to get our first look at Blessed Trinity at the plate as we continue here with coverage of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Cory McCartney along with Hudson Graham. We're going to have Terrence Bowen, then Caden Dawson and Carson Zagarin at the plate for Blessed Trinity. Josh Siegel on the mound for Walton.
Yeah, what a play from Kiz right there. That was he's really good over at third base, and he ended up flipping Georgia Southern. I think that's going to be a great spot for him. Like I said, super competitive guy in the lineup, and then he can make plays like that. So,
yeah, a guy who spent a lot of time here, to say the least, at LakePoint Sports playing for East Cobb Astros. Second-ranked third baseman in Georgia, 32nd overall. Guy who was a 2021 and 2020 junior feature gamer. But now we're going to look at Josh Siegel on the mound, the 25, a lefty, fastball up to 82. Also has a changeup 73, 77, and a curveball 65 to 72. Places travel ball for 6'4" Jaguars.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance if you are a player at Walton that 6'4" is probably going to be one of the first spots. Got Todd Haley and
Levi Clark played for 6'4".
Levi Clark with a 6'4".
Now at Tennessee, catcher. And here is Terrence Bowen. We saw him playing shortstop for Blessed Trinity. Now we get a look at him in some of his first ABs here in a Titans uniform, previously at Alexander. Oklahoma State signee digs in. Launches the first offering from Siegel. Bowen, the 4th-ranked shortstop in Georgia, 7th overall, 20th at the position nationally. What do you look for a guy in Terrence Bowen? He's obviously been around for a long time. We've known the name. We've watched him progress. When a guy gets to that senior season, and we obviously saw him at Super 60, and you're wondering, is this a guy who's going to end up on a college campus? Is he going to get drafted? What are you looking for from a scout standpoint that last year?
For me, it's just always ends up being performance. We know he can do all the things right. You know, we know he can hit for power. We know he can play the field. He's athletic. Defensively, he can end up sticking in the outfield. He can play short. You know, he can really stick anywhere on the dirt or in the outfield, honestly. But at this point, it's just making it happen, which Terrence normally does. I thought he was about to change a little 2-strike stance there, but
whoa, absolutely rips that 92.5 off his bats into the left corner. Is he going to hold it first? He does not. Terrence Bowen making his way into second. He will stay in there with a leadoff double to get things going for Blessed Trinity.
Yeah, and having an approach at the plate just like that. Obviously gets down with 2 strikes, takes a pretty good fastball he's probably beating himself up about, but then he barrels that to pull side for a double. So quite the 1-2 punch here in Bowen as in a 1-hole, which I don't know if I've seen him in that spot. Obviously he can fit anywhere in the lineup, but, man, first innings of the day, and we're getting Terrence Bowen and Caden Dawson. So don't hang one over the middle of the plate right here.
Yeah, Dawson, a 24 feature gamer for Georgia. I know you've probably got your eyes on him to be back here again this summer. #1 player in Georgia in 27, 5th ranked outfielder in the nation, 10th overall.
Yeah, he said he'd be back. He is in the mix for a Team USA appearance, so he's trying to make that team. So it'll depend on that. But if he doesn't end up going there, he'll be back for sure.
More than held his own last year with the 26s. I mean, he's a special player, and at 6'2", 195 pounds, I mean, he certainly looks the part. Got himself a 1-1 count. Exit velos around 97.3. Bat speed 77.8. Throw down to third. They did not get Bowen, who takes off and gets himself a stolen base.
Tough steal there with a lefty early in the game, but I like it. Definitely put some pressure on him. Good chance of Caden hitting a fly ball here, so easy does it there with a no outs runner on third.
Yeah, Walton on the board off of a bases loaded walk.
They got a little mixed up here. But yeah, Caden's another one. It's just one of those things, like, you can't teach what he's got. It's the competitiveness for me is always what stood out for him. Like you said, at future games, holding his own against all the older guys, only 27 on the team.
Goes down on strikes. A rare strikeout for Caden Dawson, and now here comes Carson Zagarin.
They still got the old boomstick passing it around. This was quite the story. The Zagarins were on the senior future games team. Caden was on the future games team. They used this same bat all last year. I believe they called it the glow stick, maybe with the bright green, but they still got it in the rotation, and they were having to run back and forth and make sure they had it for each game and everything else.
That's
so, yeah,
awesome.
It's funny.
Yeah, Carson and his brother Aiden both on their way to Gulf Coast Community College. Both were 2024 senior feature gamers, as Hudson mentioned.
Yeah, Gulf Coast, headed to Gulf Coast. I think that'll be a great spot for them. They were, obviously wanting to stay as a package deal, and I think they got Power 5 potential in them, definitely. I think the competitiveness and, just the hit tool at the plate with the added power, obviously you see, 6'2", 6'3" frame there, one of the more physical guys in the state. So I think that they'll they'll really excel at Gulf Coast. It's one of the toughest conference in the country, with Chipola, Northwest Florida, Tallahassee, Pensacola. So they go down there and hit. They'll definitely land at a Power 5 after 2 years there.
Makes it for an interesting situation that they want to stay together. You know, I mean, I know it's one of those things. You're twins like Joseph and JoJo Parker. Joseph and Jacob Parker, out of Mississippi. Both on their way to Mississippi State. I mean, I think you're with each other, from the minute you're born, well before you're born, all the way through your lives. It's got to be really tough to break things up, and you can understand twins wanting to stay together and continue that baseball career together. But obviously, if you break up, maybe then one of them's able to go to a Power 5 school to start things off. But you can understand them wanting to go on this journey together, and they obviously have been a big part of the puzzle for Blessed Trinity now for 3 years.
Yeah, and for me, it was always like which obviously scouts probably see them a lot more than I do. Obviously, even though we did get to see them a lot. But for me, it was always like Carson would go off one game, Aiden would go off another game. And I just didn't see that much separation within their swings and within their gameplay. I really think that for me, it was pretty comparable. So, like, I was always pushing that to coaches whenever I talked to them. And ultimately, I think that they landed in a great spot in Gulf Coast.
An opportunity to continue their baseball careers together, and Carson's going to make his way down to first base now with a one-out walk. So I'm at the corners now as we're going to turn it over to Cade Kiz.
What'd you have that Bowen EV at?
92.5.
Ian's down there locked in on it. He didn't see it on the board.
Those are some insanely bright cleats that Cade Kiz is wearing right now. Georgia Southern signee.
Yeah, Georgia Southern scooping up some good pieces in that 25 class. They've gotten a couple, and they're adding to it with Cade, and then you got John Davis, Brady Crispin.
Yep.
They're putting together a good group over there, and got new facilities going up, so that's always a plus. It always helps with recruiting, bringing guys in. And 26 class too, they grabbed Colton Sweat, Jason Williams, who else? Reese Grodman is another one, Jude Matthews.
Wow.
So they're scooping them up down south.
That's a good crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting the way these Georgia schools are really doing a great job of keeping kids in state. Kennesaw State, Georgia State,
good piece
Georgia
there,
Tech, and rips that one down in the left corner. Terrence Bowen's going to make his way home, and here comes runner into third, and Cade Kiz got himself standing at second base with an RBI double. But all these Georgia schools just doing a great job of keeping kids in state at every single stop. I mean, they really can. You can't blame them, and there's a lot of great talent in Georgia, and they're doing a really good job of stopping them and putting up the roadblocks and not letting them get out of the state.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, Kennesaw's the same way. They're really building something special over there with the new coaching staff in there a couple years and new stadiums going up.
Yep.
So I know they're getting the culture changed over there, and I think that you're going to start seeing Kennesaw State and Southern fighting for regional bids and maybe even this year, but definitely in the next couple years because they've got a lot of guys coming through the system.
Wesley Bass now steps in, Georgia State signee.
Yep,
we
and
talk
that's
about
another
keeping
one.
Guys in state.
Yep, that's another one. Georgia State's doing a good job over there. I haven't heard much on their facility that they were, supposed to be getting fixed up over there. But, yeah, same thing. They're doing a good job of getting some guys. Bass was one that they just got. Hunter Atkins was one in the 2025 class that they got. That was at Kennesaw State in Georgia, but ended up getting him. So, Blessed Trinity lineup's doing its thing. It's kind of the same thing, man. It's a tough, what are we at, 5-hole now? So,
Yep.
You can't let off the gas yet, and they just keep coming.
Bass can absolutely fly. 6'7" in the 60, and that's an old number that we've got on him.
Yeah, he can really fly. He was an early Georgia Tech commit, young in his career. So, like you said, we didn't get to see him a ton once that process ended. But, man, I was just thinking, I wonder if we're ever going to get a back-to-back-to-back home run from this group. There's a lot of possibility in it with Bowen, Dawson, and Zagrin, and even Kiz. I'd keep an eye on that. That'd be something to look forward to.
Bass pops it up on the run. Second baseman can't make the play. Here comes a Caden Dawson score. Runner's gone his way into third. They got him at third, but another run does score for Blessed Trinity. He's going to make it 2-1. So Bass now standing at second base. They get Kiz at third. Caden Dawson's able to score, so now it's going to bring up Davis Peterson with Blessed Trinity now up 2-1.
Yeah, see, like Blessed Trinity, this is a name that I'm not too familiar with. And obviously looking the part up there, that's for sure, stepping in for Zagrin being out. But, man, it's the same thing. Like I mentioned, they got about 3 or 4 27s in the back pocket that could be playing anywhere else. But obviously it's tough to crack into this lineup. They have another top 10, 2028 on the way in Andrew Cochran. So this is a team we're going to be talking about for a while.
Throw back over to Bass, toying with him.
Yeah, he's going to be aggressive on the bases, that's for sure. I like Jackson Taylor over at third base. I think that's a spot where he could really stick long term. Obviously, can play short, but I think that just with some of his actions, some of his arm actions, I think he might work better over at third as he gets a chopper there. There we go.
Nice throw from Taylor, able to.
Ooh,
he's
safe.
able to beat him out. So another run's going to score as he crosses the plate and absolutely fired up as Blessed Trinity now leads 3-1. That was a heck of a throw by Taylor, but
Yeah,
unable to get him at first.
Davis can burn a little bit. Going to have to check in on him, see how old he is.
So now another run is crossed for Blessed Trinity, up 3-1. William Hamaker now going to step in with Davis Peterson at first. A great on-the-run throw there for a guy who primarily plays shortstop to be able to see him cut across like that from third.
Yeah, that's a very tough play, especially at third base. Yeah, Peterson is a senior. It looks like. Yeah, man, I mean, that's a kid, like senior at Blessed Trinity. We haven't really seen him much, but can obviously really run. Is who we got, Haymaker here now.
Yep.
He's been a steady piece in this Blessed Trinity lineup. This one of those guys that's just super consistent. I believe he catches a little bit, so he'd probably split time some with Gavin. But I know he had a couple big knocks in the playoff game I was at as he fouls that off the foot.
Pitch count is rising for Siegel. He's had a lot of work to do here in the first. Dribbler back to the mound. Siegel spins around, throws it to first, and gets out of the inning. But Blessed Trinity has raced out to a 3-1 lead as that powerful lineup of theirs showing off. We'll be back as we move on to the second inning from the Georgia Dugout Club.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Welcome back as we continue on the coverage of the first day of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Blessed Trinity and Walton. Blessed Trinity up 3-0, as we said here in the second inning. And Logan Weideman now going to be at the plate for the first time for Walton. Brother Ryan is now at Western Kentucky after a stint at Georgia Highlands. And I know Dash O'Neill, their coach, was telling me they had a matchup of Matthew Sharman when they were playing Tennessee against Ryan Weidman. Weidman took him yard.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, they were all pretty fired up about that. But, man, he's making a lot of waves at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, no, he is. We have a previous intern that's one of the coaches there, and he's keeping us up to date on him. So probably one of the biggest families I've ever seen. There's 3 brothers, and then the dad's probably 6'7" or 6'8". I can't remember. There's one. I can't remember the other brother's name.
Adam.
That's right. Because this one, Logan's the younger one, and then Adam's the middle one, and then Ryan's the oldest, I believe. Logan was going to come over and hit in a home run derby that we were sponsoring, but they ended up having practice at Walton. That would have been fun. Him and Todd Haley were actually both going to come.
Logan stands 6'6", 215 pounds. He's the 9th-ranked first baseman in Georgia and 26, 205 overall in the class.
Yeah, we just had some fresh updated rankings with the amount of players that we got to see in the preseason, pushing probably 400 or so. So
wow,
a lot of minor updates, nothing too crazy. This is usually a big moving year for the 27s, especially. The 26s, there's always a ton of pop-up names throughout the spring, and then 25s are pretty solidified. We'd like to kind of get that order, set kind of up into the MLB draft, making sure we got guys where they need to be there. And but yeah, they're all one of the toughest things we do at prep baseball, but it's cool to see, the progress of guys rising and, that sort of thing.
Wyatt Reuter, second baseman now at the plate, number 9 hitter for Walton, and it's back to top of the order, and Matthew Haber. Yeah, that's always such a daunting thing, to think about how you guys are able to, and then from a national level, how your guys factor in, and how you're weighing different states, and obviously, a guy who's the 10th ranked shortstop in Florida is a very different thing as opposed to the 10th ranked shortstop in Iowa.
Yeah,
it's tough to figure out all that and how it all kind of comes together and forms those national rankings.
Yeah, and the number's not a big thing for me. It's more so just making sure we can get eyes on the players and have them in there. As Novak goes back-to-back for strikeouts there. But just having the guys in there, and obviously we're never going to be perfect with the amount of players in the state of Georgia, but we want to try to be able to look at that name and be like, yep, saw him at this day, or yep, saw this guy this day. So we do take pride in that. We go to a lot of games in the spring. Ian, I think, was like at 158 last year.
That's
he did
incredible.
A tally. So we're going to be pushing 300 games this spring with more guys on the road. This one's chopped for Bowen. Good play there.
Yeah, gets past his third baseman, cutting over, and is able to make the throw and get Haber at first. Very quick inning defensively for Blessed Trinity. We'll be back. You're watching the Georgia Dugout Club.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
It'll be Gavin Green, then Quinn Davis, and we're back to the top of the order with Terrence Bowen for Blessed Trinity here in the bottom of the second inning, up 3-1. Josh Siegel back on the mound for another inning of work for Walton through 29 pitches in his first inning. See if he can settle down a little bit here. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits.
Killam must be getting DH for now, maybe, because I see him right there in center. Because he didn't hit, did he?
I thought he hit second.
Okay. They just switched it up a little bit. I couldn't remember.
Well, actually, they didn't. So Crowell hit second.
Oh, okay. And then Killamette was a little ways down.
Yep.
I guess I just missed that one.
Yeah, I think they changed the order a little bit. Actually, but Killamette number 1 was actually the last guy who hit for them. And Killamette is listed as number 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw him right there in center. I saw their lineup on the way over here and definitely looked a little different than what they had.
Yeah, it seemed like they were actually hitting out of order because we had Walker Killamette hit leading off, but he did not lead off because we saw Matthew Haber actually hit first.
Last-minute decisions.
Yeah, we'll piece this whole thing together. So Gavin Green now at the plate. First pitch swinging.
I like it, Gavin. Freshman getting in there, getting ready to go. First pitch. He's one of those kids, too. You can just kind of tell he's been around it. He's not scared of the moment, so he's probably ready to go with MLB bloodlines and Todd Green.
Yeah, his dad had him, playing up for a while and kind of put together a team of guys that he felt like were really pushing him. So, yeah, we've seen a ton of Gavin out here over the years, and Dad Todd does a great job running that program. Not too many guys can say that their dad caught first pitch from a World Series game from a U.S. president, but Gavin gets to say that. Got him at exit velos around 91.6. Draws himself a walk here to start off the second.
Yeah, those 14U numbers can always get skewed a little bit because we see him at 13U with a drop 5 at junior future games, and then he comes out, and so definitely we'll be seeing those get up there. He was going to come to preseason All-State and ended up having something going on, so we should get to see him at top prospect games, coming up in June. So that's always one we look forward to. June 3rd and 4th will be the underclass, and then upper class will be June 10th and 11th. So yeah, looking forward to those.
Quinn Davis, 120th ranked player in Georgia in 26, swings through for strike 1.
You always get one of those funky profiles every now and then where somehow the position gets lost.
Yeah.
It shows him as number 1. But yeah, Quinn can play a little bit. I got to see him, over the summer in spurts, and like I mentioned, big football guy. So him and Bass in the outfield, I know he can really run as well. So
he's got the same cleats that Bass wears, so those apparently translate to speed.
Yep, got to be fast in those. Thought they might be the old Grinch cleats, Kobe Grinches that they have now.
Go. Yeah.
I see those things like floating around for $700-800, and then I see kids wearing them. I know they got some fakes rolling around.
Yeah.
But it's always cool.
They call them reps.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Reps.
But no, it's cool. They threw some moldy cleats on the bottom of those, and you see, the football guys and stuff wearing them now. So obviously playing on turf, you can get creative with your cleats here.
Davis ropes that one in the left field.
Just missed it.
Yeah, just misses it. Camps underneath it for the out. I tell you what, the one thing that this weekend and next weekend with Georgia Dugout Club Tournament always does for me is it makes me wish that we just had this every weekend, that we could just get high school teams to come here every weekend and play in these events. Obviously, that would save you guys a ton of hassle having to drive all over the place.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Back when we were kind of first getting established, like there's rentals here throughout the week. But anyways, with rain weeks, they would open up the fields on Friday nights and kind of first come, first served basis, renting the fields out. Because like 2 nights ago, my phone was blowing up. Hey, do you have any fields? Hey, do you have any fields? And there's so many standing rentals here now that there's not much space. But back when we were kind of coming through, it was like free for all on Friday nights, and we'd have eight games going on up here, and it was awesome.
That'd be fantastic.
It's kind of few and far between now with the youth tournament starting up in a couple weeks, and like I mentioned, rentals every weekend. So it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I believe the Sunday series gets started this week. A dribbler back to Siegel off the bat of Bowen, throws the first little dribbler back to
from Todd.
Haley, be able to get the out.
Yeah, we got Sunday series going on Sunday, and then President's Day, we've thrown a 13U, 14U Rising Stars showcase on it. So those are always really fun for us, trying to pick the junior future games and identifying some guys to kind of circle to make sure we follow them the next few years. So we'll have that on Monday. So hopefully the weather holds out for us. I know tomorrow doesn't look great, and then Monday is supposed to get colder again. So We shall see. You never
Yeah,
know.
almost a bit of an art to you guys picking those junior feature games teams because you don't get a lot of looks at these guys until you get really deep into the summer.
No, I was lucky enough to run the youth tournaments back, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago. I guess when Terrence was actually coming through, I was running the youth tournament, so I would just be at the park all day. So I would just go walk around trying to find guys, and that was the first junior future games team that I picked with Terrence Bowen, Cole Johnson, Cade Kiz was on that team. Zagrins were on that team.
Wow.
So it's fun for me. I really like doing it. But, no, we don't get a ton of looks. We're running more Rising Star showcases to give guys opportunities for more looks. And then we get to see, a limited amount of 14U over the summer. So those Rising Stars events are big for us. Like you said, we've followed, Cade and Zagrins and Bowen so extensively. And it all started because we found them for junior future games. So kind of starts the journey of prep baseball is that junior future games.
After falling down on one pitch and then missing wildly on another, Siegel finally finds that curveball and drops it in for a strike.
Bowen was the first junior future gamer to future games to Super 60. So that was kind of cool for me to see a full circle in the prep baseball world. So hopefully we get more and more of those as we go along.
Yeah, and when you talk to those guys, they will tell you how crucial prep baseball has been for them in their process too of getting them on the radar and helping them, continue to progress, and then getting obviously these, Division I scholarships that they're able to sign, and then getting those looks at Super 60. I mean, it's really meaningful to these guys what they've been able to how they've been able to grow within the prep baseball world.
Yeah, the relationships is what I'm there for. Is Caden does a good job of staying on that pitch down in the zone.
Drops that down, and he will have another run across the plate for Blessed Trinity.
But yes, it's the relationships for me. I really like building relationships with these players, and Bowen's a guy that I'll probably stay in touch with throughout his whole career at Oklahoma State. So that's what we're trying to do. We want to do that with as many kids as possible. Obviously, we can't do it with everyone, but that's the goal, is to build the relationships, and we can really help players get to the next level. And then, he goes to Oklahoma State, and you never know what happens from there. So it's definitely fun to see.
Taking off for second, the
Good
throw is in time, but he is able to get around it and a stolen base with Carson Zagrin at the plate. Caden Dawson showing off the wheels.
We got fireworks going off everywhere. I'm getting videos sent from guys. Ian Maria hit a home run over on field 9 and got an upper 80s arm from Milton. So just goes to show the amount of talent we got going on right now.
Yeah, a couple really big weekends, and then next weekend, on Friday, you're going to have Pope and Carrollton going on Friday, so it's going to be another huge weekend then as well. So either this weekend or next weekend, lots of reasons to get out here and watch some baseball.
Definitely. A lot of MLB draft follows as well. You're going to have Ty Peoples versus John Stutzer next weekend, so that's a big one. I believe Cooper Underwood's going tonight, so he's coming off of a big Super 60. He has some helium.
Dawson taking off the wild pitch. I actually saw him walk in with that kind of like water contraption that guys are using now, the water displacement that they're using for warm-ups. Cooper had one of those in tow when he walked in.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those. It's, whatever you can do with the routine's the biggest thing. We talked about that with Reed Worley. He's really taken accustomed to having a really strict routine, as he's probably throwing right now, actually. But man, that routine's so important, especially for those arms. If you can build that routine as a high schooler, it pays dividends. Obviously, with Worley, he's kind of the poster child for it, in my opinion, with the progression that he's had. We've talked about it on our podcast and a couple other spots, but it's like junior future gamer, 76, 78. The next year, he's 82, 84. Next year, he's 85, 87. And then senior year, now he's 90, 93. So steady progression there is what these guys are looking for.
He has certainly had a rise without question over the last year plus. He's also doing like that sound wave, kind of ultrasound stuff.
Yeah, he's high praise of that. I was talking to his dad, and he's like, man, as Zagrin ropes one down the line there. Fair ball.
90 mile an hour off his bat, and that's going to be in for another run for Blessed Trinity as Zagrin makes his way into second base. Another double. Blessed Trinity is just pouring it on now at 5-1.
Yeah, Reed Worley really believes in that stuff, and I know we had some guys at Super 60 testing it out. So, anything that you can do to help your body recover, and especially with these guys throwing, which Worley's really smart. Coach Thomas over there does a good job with him with pitch count and things of that nature. So, there's all kinds of tools and and things now for a routine, and it's important just to be consistent with it, in my opinion.
Cade Kiz at the plate, sends that one foul. Well, he also told me he's to the point where he's used that thing so much, knows how to treat himself, that they actually let him take him up to his room when he was in Chicago. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Kiz got to get some updated numbers on there recently. We got him over to preseason All-State, where we get a handful of committed guys, and he actually had a pro workout the morning of, and then he ended up coming over to hit towards the end of the sessions, but he had his junior future games numbers on there just because he committed to Georgia Tech so early, and now flipping to Auburn, but I was glad to get to see him again in a showcase setting.
Swing and a miss off that Siegel breaking ball.
Yeah, that's a good breaking ball from Siegel. I think that definitely he's a guy that you're going to see him develop. Low 80s lefties is something that can always be an asset at the next level as he starts to take that fastball velo up. But breaking ball, really good feel for spin.
Misses high on that changeup, 77. Counts now 2-2 to Kiz.
I thought we were going to get the rematch for the Reed Worley Blessed Trinity. They needed to match them up again. As Kiz flies that one out to center. Looks like it's going to be an out.
Cameras didn't switch over. They did a little bit late. So
deep. It looks like he went deep. Kill him out there.
Oh, he
really
did.
run him down.
All the way back to the track. But 5-1 is the lead for Blessed Trinity. Hudson, man, thanks for stopping by. I know we're going to have you back tomorrow for our watch party. We'll have plenty more Georgia Dugout Club Tournament coverage coming your way. Don't go anywhere.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Grayson Rosen now steps in for Hudson Graham as we're sitting in the top of the third now with Blessed Trinity up 5-1 over Walton. I know you had a chance to kind of go over and check this out. We knew Blessed Trinity was going to be loaded, and they are, at this point, living up to the hype.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing it. It's just fun to watch these guys out on the field. And, I mean, Walton's got plenty of talent that they're putting on display as well, but a dream start for Blessed Trinity so far.
Now here's Matthew Haber at the plate, stepping in against Cameron Novak. Novak fires. Haber watches that in for ball one. Yeah, I think you wonder when you're a team like Blessed Trinity, you've got so many guys that have been around for a while, and you bring a guy like Terrence Bowen into the mix. Like, what does that do to the chemistry? And obviously, he's fitting in rather nicely, as we saw that leadoff double for him, and then he's shown some great work defensively at short.
Yeah, and I think it really works with the talent that they already had in this lineup to just kind of push a lot of people down a spot. I think it really lines up well. I think Caden Dawson plays really natural in the two-hole, and you just kind of go down the list. I love it.
Haber sends that one foul. It was funny, think back to future games and being over in the field during the senior future games, batting practice, and talking to the Zagarin twins, and they were like, hey, we got Terrence Bowen coming next year. And they were there. The hype has been swirling since August about his arrival here. And certainly this was a team, as I was talking about with Hudson Graham, this Blessed Trinity team was good, but then you take a player of that magnitude and add him into the mix, and as you mentioned, it elevates everybody around them and just makes them an absolute juggernaut in terms of what they're going to be able to possibly do in 4A.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost funny to talk about how they're a good team when they made the Elite 8 in 6A last year.
Haber sends that right up the middle. Novak frustrated as he watched that one bounce into center field for a leadoff single.
Sorry, they made the Final Four last year. I think I was thinking of Walton.
Yep.
They made the Elite Eight and 7A.
So now we go from Haber to Jackson Taylor, the Clemson signee. Spent some time with Jackson during last year's Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. So definitely a special player, as we were talking about, with Hudson, 7th-ranked shortstop in Georgia, 25th overall. He's 71st at his position nationally. Haber taking off for second base. A throw from Green got him, nailed him. Gavin Green showing off the arm there as he throws out Haber for the first out.
Yeah, and how about Gavin Green, the only freshman on the varsity squad, starting at catcher and making a play like that? It's a good start to his career for Blessed Trinity.
Yeah, son of Todd Green, former major leaguer, coach of that TGD backs, founder of that program. He has been primed and readied for this kind of an opportunity, and Gavin Green's taking full advantage of it. Taylor watches that in for a strike.
I mean, you mentioned the chemistry and just being out there at the field watching these guys. Blessed Trinity, that whole entire dugout is just one singular unit. It's amazing to watch them all together.
Taylor loops that into left field. Got him at the track, 84-8 off his bat. That will be hauled in for the second out. Taylor just missed that one. So Hudson Graham says we've had some fireworks on some other fields. See if we can get some going here on this one. Blessed Trinity and Walton, two of the top 25 teams in Prep Baseball Georgia's Power 25. Parker Dastu, the Mercer signee, steps in with 2 down. 6'2", 170-pounder, plays his travel ball for pro stock. Novak's done a nice job after that first inning of kind of finding himself. Swing and a miss. Should Dastu get on, we'll see William Crowell and then Davin Crone potentially follow.
It definitely feels like Cameron Novak, as he's continued to roll through these innings, is definitely settled in. It seemed just it wasn't that he was all over the place in the first inning. It just seemed like he wasn't quite there. And, I mean, this is the first game they played. Most of these teams, I mean, this is the third game that Walton has played this year. They played a scrimmage 2 weeks ago against North Forsyth, and then they played and beat Lassiter. So, you know, Blessed Trinity, this is their first time getting the squad on the field. So you definitely could have seen that stuff coming, but that first inning of offense certainly made you think otherwise.
Yeah, I would tell you, Blessed Trinity over the years has a lot of times they've been dominated by pitching. This time around, it's most certainly led by an offense. But you think about Novak, Joseph Contreras, they do have arms, and certainly guys who can get them, carry them through what they expect to be a very long playoff run as Novak drops in that breaking ball for the inning-ending strikeout. His team's up 5-1. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect on the
We are back. Coverage of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament, day 1, is Blessed Trinity and Walton facing off. Again, matchup of 2 of the top 25 teams in Prep Baseball Georgia's Power 25. So we're going to have another inning of Josh Siegel on the mound for Walton. That breaking ball has been an awfully effective weapon for him. Thus far, though, he's been tagged for 5 runs on 6 hits from this powerful Blessed Trinity lineup. Meanwhile, Walton has 1 run on 3 hits. We'll see Wesley Bass lead things off here for Blessed Trinity, followed by Davis Peterson and William Hamaker.
Interested to see what Blessed Trinity's approach at the plate looks like now. Do you just continue to jump on everything and try and continue to run up the score, or do you maybe just play a little more calculated and try and make your night move a little bit quicker, knowing that you got plenty more games to play?
Yeah, this is, a lineup that I think they can almost do whatever they want, seemingly. Hudson was talking about a real reality of whether these guys could go back-to-back home runs at some point this season. They just have that kind of firepower. And you got a guy like Wesley Bass, who is now committed to Georgia State, hitting 5th in your lineup. It kind of speaks to the depth this squad has. And that's without Aiden Zagarin in the lineup right now, out with an injury. Swing and a miss.
Puts that one on the ground, foul.
As you saw in our pregame, Curve Test Centers has their location here at LakePoint Sports, and they are actually running a special across this Georgia Dugout Club weekend. So they say, athletes, you want to see how you stack up? Curve Test Centers offering free performance tests for the first 100 athletes this weekend at LakePoint Sports, where you can test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. So you can visit them at the Bubble here on campus or sign up at curvetestcenters.com using code LakePoint100 ! Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Walked through there and saw what they do over at Curve Test Center. And it really is a game-changing opportunity for players, because I think it gives you a different sense of what you're able to do and what you're capable of as a player, in areas in which you can increase your productivity and performance. So get out there if you can and test yourself, and you'll get a nice readout at the end, a pamphlet that'll show you how you stack up and how you can increase your performance over the long haul and continue to progress as a player.
It's been an extended at bat here. See who wins here now at 3-2.
Yeah, this is certainly a daunting lineup. When you're thinking about it from a pitching standpoint, I feel like you get through an inning without giving up a run, you feel like you survived a battle.
Yeah, let alone, you're not going to come across a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings with this kind of lineup.
Yeah, we talk about it during the travel season, where a lot of these guys pitchers will have to go against maybe the best lineups that they might see unless they wind up at the major league level. Because even at the collegiate level, you're not going to get some of these higher end programs. You're going to be able to snatch up all these guys. This lineup, this Blessed Trinity one, a rarity even at the high school level when we're talking about the level of players that they have. As it goes down on strikes, when you think about Bowen being added to the mix, along with, hitting number 2, Caden Dawson, the number 1 player in the state in 2027. Then you go to the Zagarin twins, Cade Kiz, Wesley Bass. And then we saw a guy like Davis Peterson, an unheralded player, as Hudson Graham was saying. We saw him leg out a play at first base after a ridiculous throw from Jackson Taylor at third. So there's literally no relenting in this lineup, as Wesley Bass skies that one. Going to be caught for the second out.
I believe that was the aforementioned Peterson.
That was Davis Peterson, getting ahead of myself. William Hamaker now at the plate. But yeah, these guys are very good, is what I'm basically trying to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're not going to. And it's going to be a real test for anybody else trying to take these guys down as they look primed for a very, very long run in 4A.
Yeah, and this is a big day just across the state for high school baseball. This is probably one of, if not the best matchup you're going to find being played in the state today with these two teams. And Blessed Trinity certainly getting the best of Walton, but there's plenty of baseball to be played. I was over there during or in between the top and bottom of the first, and the umpire walked over and goes to the Walton coaches asking if they were playing with a clock, and the coach goes, No, so we're playing real baseball today. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this real baseball game we've got here.
I really like the Josh Siegel curveball. Sometimes it's getting away from him a little bit. We saw him actually a couple innings ago fall down on the delivery of that pitch. Lost the handle on it a couple times, but when it's on, it's on. And
yeah,
it's a really nice weapon.
It was beautiful in the strikeout pitch to Wesley Bass on 3-2. Kind of a style of curveball you wouldn't typically bring out. But
wow, he
man,
does it
there
again.
It is.
Man, just gets it on the outside corner to take down William Hammaker on strikes. And a couple more Ks for Josh Siegel, who's showing out and looking awfully strong here. But Blessed Trinity has a 5-1 lead. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Next. Next. Stop.
We got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
coaching manner.
For some of the guys, it's actually a way to keep them on and get them their service time so they can end up getting their pensions. But Flowers not in that need. Spent long enough in the majors. Another one ropes that down the left side, right side, excuse me. That one's going foul. Before Flowers last season, or is the next to the last season in Atlanta, he lives in Marietta. I remember him telling me that they built a batting cage in his basement so he didn't have to leave because they have so many kids. He didn't want to leave them all on his wife to have to watch everybody for the day. So he was actually would just go down to his basement and get some cuts in.
That's awesome. 2-2 pitch.
Yeah, long at bat for Crone here. Another defensive swing. I don't know if it's necessarily defensive or it's just the fact that he really doesn't have a stride.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of a quick hands kind of guy, trying to just put bat on ball. So he's not really coming off like. I definitely see what you're saying.
He's got himself a 2-2 count, and he is responsible for Novak's pitch count climbing a little bit here in the the fourth, excuse me. Rips that one there. He gets it down the right side, 90.1 off his bat. The hands are definitely quick enough. Doesn't need that step to load into the swing as he ropes a single to give runners first and second here for Walton. Now we go to Todd Haley. Saw Todd Haley a year ago. He was on the mound for Walton in one of these Georgia Dugout Club matchups, 6'2", 225-pounder. Third-ranked first baseman in Georgia, 94th overall in 26. Exit velos are on 96.2, bat speed 74.7 for the preseason All-State.
Yeah, one of the guys that had a pretty impressive showing up at preseason All-State.
So Todd can make some noise here and eat into this lead. Blessed Trinity up 5-1, but there's nobody out and 2 on here in the fourth. He get on. We'll see Logan Weideman. Novak misses high, but Gavin Green able to pull that down. What a luxury for Blessed Trinity, knowing that for the next 4 years you could have that kid behind the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to like the situation that Etowah found themselves in last year with Caden Borcherding starting as soon as the season started at catcher behind the plate, and it's just like, all right, well, we've got that very difficult position to find. We've got that locked down for a couple more years.
Yeah, most certainly a luxury, and he's a guy who's been tested. Like I was saying earlier, his dad has had his team playing up for a long time. They surrounded him with guys that they felt like were pushing him as a player, and he's obviously got those MLB bloodlines and can have a long time here now to make some noise for Blessed Trinity. Also got the nice bright white catching gear, which you gotta like.
Yeah. I can always appreciate a catcher that wants to kind of express himself with the gear.
Yeah, Nealon Halsey over at Rockmart, they're going to be here this weekend as well. I believe they play in the second weekend of,
I think you're right.
GDC. He's on with all-star catching gear, and they typically have hooked Nealon up, so I'm sure he'll stop by the studio at some point to show me what he's rocking across the GDC weekend. 2-0's the count to Haley. Oh, Novak drops in a pretty breaking ball to run the count to 2-1. Definitely trying to stop Haley from extending his hands.
Yeah, and sometimes you almost don't want to throw that curveball into that spot because sometimes that just doesn't get called, whether it does tap the zone or not. It's a tough spot to call for the umpire, but perfectly placed pitch right there.
Comes a 2-1 from Novak. Goes right back to it, in for another strike.
It's a huge asset to be able to freeze a guy like that, especially on 2-1. Now he's really got to respect, what is he going to bring? Is he going to try and bring that back for the third time in a row, or is he going to bring some heat and try and blow me away?
Yeah, I think elevated fastball here. You've changed eye levels a couple times. I would not. He's got a pitch to give. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes elevated fastball here. Well, he goes back to the breaking ball again, and he's able to flip that one off.
I mean, Haley was lucky to get a piece of that one.
Count remains 2-2.
Now you're thinking, okay, I've thrown off his timing quite a bit. 3 straight breaking balls, and then, he's throwing like 70 to 72 with the breaking ball. He's going to switch it up almost 15 miles per hour if he goes back to that fastball at full velo.
Novak taking a long time. Well, Ty Haley rips that one, but it's going to go foul. So he goes to the fastball, 86-6. It's turning into quite the battle.
I mean, I think with Novak having a pitch to play with, you're going to try and get around the zone with whatever you throw here. There it is.
Gets him down on strikes after a long battle with Haley. Haley can only look over at Novak as he heads to the dugout after a strikeout for out number one. We're now 63 pitches in for Novak, so he's thrown 16 pitches so far this inning. I believe that's going to be the end of his day as he's dabbing up everybody.
Looks like maybe they're waiting on an arm to get in here from the bullpen.
Strong day for Cameron Novak. He's able to limit Walton to 1 run on 5 hits, but he's got a couple runners on base as he's potentially going to make his way off the mound, and he does, in fact, hand over the ball. We'll be back. We're going to tell you about our new pitcher when we return.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feet stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard? Front yard. Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Back now, get a look at our second pitcher of the day for Blessed Trinity as Cameron Novak exits. And look at the scoreboard is updated quite yet to tell us who is on the mound here for
Number
Blessed Trinity.
16 up there. That's going to be Braden Oblas, I believe, based off the roster I found.
Braden, 2027. Plays his travel ball for 6'4" DP. No prep baseball metrics on this 2027 quite yet, but I'm sure that will change in the coming weeks.
That is Oblas. I'm confirming with the roster their coach gave me.
This is his 5th time pitching on a LakePoint Sports mound. He's going to be here this summer for the Prep Baseball Showdown in May and the Prep Baseball Classic in June. Here's the situation now with 2 runners on for Walton. 5-1 lead for Blessed Trinity with 1 out here in the 4th. Logan Weidman going to step in for Walton.
And I think you kind of wish that Novak could have finished out this inning for Blessed Trinity, and he was, pitching fine. I think it was really just a, first start of the year. You don't want to run him too much, and you get into the 60s. There was just some really long at bats that he faced this inning that really threw things off. I mean, we came into this inning, he was really only, I think he was in the 40s in pitch count. So those long at bats by Walton maybe helps out their chances here as they see a new pitcher.
Yes, 16 pitches for Novak before he exited here in the 4th. Oblas misses on his first offering to Weidman. scoreboard actually says Hodges, but I can't imagine that's the right player. Swing and a miss off another great-looking breaking ball from a Blessed Trinity arm to get Weidman down 1-1. Not been a lot of opportunities for Walton to really do anything offensively. They got a bases-loaded walk for their first run in the opening inning, and does get a strike. It's going to run it to 1-2. So they've got a chance here. See if they can cash in with one down. Number 9 hitter Weidman is going to be followed by Wyatt Reuter, and then we're back to the top of the order with Walker Killamette.
I'm not sure if you guys mentioned this the first time Weidman came up, but just an unbelievable frame. It's 6'6", 215.
His brother Ryan Weidman right now is at Western Kentucky after spending time at Georgia Highlands. He's 6'5".
Runs in the family, clearly.
Yep. And then there's another brother, Adam Weidman, who's a 2024, who's at Pensacola State. Breed 'em tall in the Weidman household.
Yeah.
Logan swinging a miss, goes down on strike, throw back to second. It's going to skip away from Terrence Bowen. Able to stop the runner, though. Not going to win anywhere. So now 2 down with Wyatt Reuter step into the plate.
Good work there at second by Davis Peterson to back that up and avoid a little bit of chaos on the base paths.
A ball on the field from another game. And typically that's going to be Aiden Zagerin's spot, his brother playing at first base.
Yeah, and when Aiden is back healthy, I mean, this is one of the best infields you're going to find across the state.
Yeah, that's what Hudson says this is the best defensive infield in the state.
Yeah, I think they're incredible.
Yeah, not a lot of holes. Certainly a lot of talent all over the place. Both runners taking off as that one skips away from the catcher. So each advancing 90 feet. Walton 90 feet now away from that key second run as they try to eat into this lead. Blas can calm down here and kind of find a groove. Goes back to breaking ball and is able to drop that in for a strike. Great looking pitch as he makes the count 1-1. Kudos to so many of these guys, these breaking balls looking so good this early in the season.
Yeah, it's something that I think now with, obviously the rules, you can't practice by a certain time or until a certain time with your high school team, but these guys stay active with their travel teams all throughout the winter. A lot of travel teams or just some of the different individual like training academies and such that have the indoor facilities available. Such a game changer with how readily available that is for guys now, being able to stay warm throughout the winter.
He's got Reuter in a 1-2 count. Oh, just over top of Oblas's head. Throw from second from Davison, not going to be in time as a run's going to score for Walton. So Davis Peterson on the run, unable to get the runner at first, and Walton is now making this a 5-2 game.
Yeah, that was a very late, just kind of desperation swing that he just barely poked over the pitcher and got himself on his way to first, put it in a spot that was just impossible for Peterson to make a real good play on, and he tried his best, but great work by Walton, just showing that, starting off this inning with some hard-fought at-bats and some long ABs, and now getting that pitching change, and you immediately jump on it. It's great work.
Walker Killamette's turn now. Runner at third. So Walton still threatening here with 2 out in the 4th. Oblas gets that in for a strike at 84-5. Have to assume we'll probably see Joseph Contreras pitch tomorrow. Son of former major leaguer Jose Contreras, All-Star, World Series champion with the White Sox. Hard to believe we're nearing on 20 years since that White Sox team he was a part of won a World Series.
Wow. And if I had to guess, White Sox fans probably feel like it's been much longer than that.
Yeah, especially these past few years.
I mean, I believe I saw a promotion that you can go to essentially the equivalent of season tickets at home for 3 months, March, April, and May, for $150.
Wow. Green throws down. They're able to get the runner at second. Odd play there. A lot of times you're not going to see somebody taking off like that, as often the runner from third is going to make a break, but comes off the bag, and they're able to get the runner at second and end the threat. But it's now 5-2 Blessed Trinity lead as we move along. You're watching the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Blessed Trinity back to work, and they have a new arm on the mound as well, as they were able to get a run back, but Blessed Trinity is still up 5-2.
And that's Weston Chen on the mound. Right-handed pitcher, 133 overall in the state, number 25 right-handed pitcher.
5'9", 160-pounder, plays his travel ball for G.A. Sandlots. Got him with a fastball up around 85.5.
I think kind of the first thing you notice, he's a little bit undersized, at least amongst the guys in his class in the 2026s, but still going to pump the fastball up into the mid-80s.
He also has a changeup around 72 to 78, curveball 69 to 70, slider 69 to 70 as well. Exit velos in around 97.8 and a bat speed around 77 miles an hour. So regardless of frame, Weston Chen can absolutely get it done, and we'll see what the preseason All-State can do, as he's now going to be facing off against Gavin Green to start things off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 83-7 in for his first pitch, a strike.
Absolutely love his windup.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, you talk about leverage and getting leverage behind the baseball. Weston Chen is doing every bit of that. I like the little bit of a delay there as he's playing around with the leg kick. He's got Green now in an 0-2 hole. After this, it's Quinn Davis in the top of the order. See if he stays breaking ball. It goes breaking ball. He does. That one's flipped away foul.
That's some nice late movement.
Yeah.
I already like what I'm seeing right now from Weston Chen. It's my first time getting the chance to watch him.
Pitch number 4, I thought a little leg kick. His name, man, Gavin Green frustrated. He swings through that 85-4. Weston Chen ushers his way into this game in resounding fashion and gets himself a strikeout to start things off.
Yeah, really like what I'm seeing so far.
Now Quinn Davis with one down. Goes breaking ball, misses high. Yeah, the Chen double leg kick isn't a time. It's not something he's messing around with. He does it every single time. It's in for a strike, 84. Be interested to see what he looks like from the stretch should Blessed Trinity get a runner on. As of right now, he's doing a nice job of keeping them at bay. As that's in for another strike in the outside corner, 1-2 now. Heavy diet of fastballs. See if he goes off speed here. He does, and that one's ripped down the side. Short has it. Dastu throws not in time as he's able to leg that one out. Parker Dastu had to field that on the edge of the grass and a very long throw. But Quinn Davis able to leg that out and give himself a 1-out infield single. Now back to the top of the order, and Terrence Bowen, guy who feasts on fastballs, so let's see how Weston Chen deals with him. Misses on the first pitch. Davis taking off for second. The throw is
got him.
They got him at
believe,
second
yeah.
base. So Quinn Davis gunned down at second. So a strikeout to Gavin Green, and now they're able to get Quinn Davis at second on the throw down from the catcher, and now 2 down for Terrence Bowen.
Yeah, great work right there defensively. Heads up by the catcher, just getting a ball down there, and good work. Perfect on the dot.
Terrence Bowen ropes that 107.9 off his bat as that one's all the way to the wall, and Terrence Bowen standing at second base, and that was an absolute laser.
That was unbelievable.
That may be the hardest hit ball I've ever seen at LakePoint Sports. 107.
Yeah.
That's got me stuttering. 107.9 off the bat.
I'm at a loss for words. That was unbelievable. That's what you sign up for with these talented players getting out here, man. Terrence Bowen, what a moment.
Worth the price of admission. So get on out this weekend to the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Now here's Caden Dawson with runner at second and 2 down. Man, that was a
wow.
I
can't get over it.
That's a guy just having fun out there.
Yeah. I'd be having fun too if I just hit a ball almost 108 miles per hour.
Chen drops in that breaking ball for a strike. I wonder if he knows he just hit the ball that hard.
You can't see the exit velo from the field. I'm sure if Ian Smith was anywhere close, he was doing his trademark sprint up into the scout tower. But wow, what a moment!
Surprised he didn't put a hole in the outfield wall.
Yeah. I'm glad we have 107.8 or 107.9 mile per hour proof fences.
That's right.
Caden Dawson down 0-2. 2 straight breaking balls from Chen.
Chen steps off. Yeah, a little more flight to that ball, and that probably would have claimed someone's windshield. Dawson sends that back foul. All right, if Dawson gets on, it's Carson Zagarin, Blessed Trinity, trying to get a run back after giving up one in the top of the 4th. Dawson with a dribbler over top of Chen's head. Dastu has it, throws to first in time to end the threat. And we just saw a moment from Terrence Bowen, but they were unable to capitalize. It's still 5-2. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Where is it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Boogie, woogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty mic.
We'll see Walker Killamit, Matthew Haber, and Jackson Taylor at the plate for Walton here in the top of the 5th inning with Blessed Trinity up 5-2. First day of coverage from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. We're going to have one of our watch parties tomorrow, so you can join us at 10 a.m. as we'll have a number of games on deck for you. And a lot of great matchups this entire weekend. So tomorrow we will be doing Troup County and Sequoia, Jones County and Cherokee, and Peach County and Campbell. We're trying to hit every county in one fall swoop there.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that coverage is going to be at 10 a.m. Of course, you'll be able to find that on Facebook, YouTube, and X. So make sure you join us for that one. We'll have a cast of characters joining us for that one, including Terrence Bowen scheduled to stop on by before Blessed Trinity's game tomorrow. So looking forward to spending some time with Terrence and asking him if that is the hardest hit ball he's ever had in his life. Get another inning of Braden Oblas.
Hoping to see a little bit more action from that curveball. It was looking pretty. I mean, just about everybody we've seen pitch today has had quite a hold on the breaking ball.
It's got to be Oblas's. Is that mom? Is that the girlfriend over there holding the camera as he works at him for?
I'm not sure, but
strike?
I would assume it's appreciated by whoever it is.
That's right. Well, hopefully they're appreciating the Oblas breaking ball. He works that one in for a strike. Walker Killamette was a preseason All-State this year, a 2024 future gamer, 5'10", 178-pounder, 14th ranked outfielder in Georgia, 53 overall in the class. And he takes that one directly in the back. So we go from Killamette to Matthew Haber.
If you're Walton, you got to really like where you're sitting right now. You're continuing to kind of fight back. You're putting guys on the base paths and fighting through some long at-bats in that last inning. I feel like Walton certainly trending in the right direction as we kind of wind down here for these last 3 innings.
Yeah, not rolling over after kind of, you know, you could have the expectation that the game was maybe getting a little bit away from you. The only run you had was off of a bases-loaded walk, and meanwhile you're watching this Blessed Trinity lineup do its thing and race out to a 5-1 lead, but they are battling their way back as Green pumps fakes and throws back to Oblas.
Yeah, and I mean, in the 3rd and 4th inning, seen some great pitching out of Walton as well. That's limited runs, so certainly not over yet in a 3-run ball game here.
Oblas just having a little bit of trouble finding a groove. He's shown some flashes, especially with that breaking ball, and that one gets away from Gavin Green. Runner taken off for second. Will easily take that bag. You know, and if you're Walton, look, you just got through Terrence Bowen and Caden Dawson. You didn't give up a run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when it flips back around to Blessed Trinity being up, yes, this is a deep lineup. You're still going to have to deal with Carson Zager and Cade Kiss and Wesley Bass in the inning, but it's going to be a while until you see the top part of that order. So if you can put some stuff together offensively yourself, this could be an entirely new ball game. That one gets away from Green, searching for it. Runner taken off for third. Able to stick the bag, and so we're going to have him at the corners here with nobody out to start off the 5th.
Yeah, that's a huge steal. Sets up the situation so much better with no outs, now runners on the corners. That's heads-up play right there by Walton.
And your big dogs coming to the plate here in the form of Clemson signee Jackson Taylor.
Definitely a huge spot, probably their best hitting opportunity that they've seen since they walked in that first run of the game.
Now I've seen some stress pitches here for Oblas.
Everybody's looking towards the bullpen. We
may have another pitching change on our hands, and
we do.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have another pitching change. We're going to take another quick break, so when we come back, we'll tell you about the new Blessed Trinity arm.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Your new pitcher for Blessed Trinity, Connor Imbros, 2027 5'8", 147-pounder. He's the 45th ranked shortstop in Georgia in 27, 214 overall. But we're going to get to see him on the mound now, where he's a fastball up around 85, changeup 78 to 79, curveball 69 to 71, and a slider around 73 to 74 with over 2,500 spin. Basically everything this guy throws has over 2,300 spin, so get ready to see a lot of that action out of his hands. As I mentioned to you before we came back on, his sister Caitlin was state champion swimmer in the 200 free, so the Imbros family coming correct athletically. We'll see what Connor's able to do here as he steps in relief for Oblas.
Just got the signal for 2 more pitches, so just waiting to see what will happen.
A little bit of short arm action. Definitely a different look than what we saw from Novak and Oblas. Novak, Oblas, Ibras. A lot of vowels.
Very interesting.
Yep. Well, yeah. A lot of consonants. I'm sorry.
Yeah, consonants, yeah.
A lot of consonants in the Blessed Trinity pitching rotation. I think the ones they're really looking for is K.
Yeah.
See if they can get any of those here. Jackson Taylor stepping to the plate. Runners at the corners. Nobody out for the Clemson signee. The right guy at the right time if you're Walton. Can absolutely do some damage.
Yeah, huge spot with runners on the corners. No outs. You're going to maybe attempt with the speed you've got at first base. Maybe attempt to snag second, but Gavin Green's certainly ready for it.
83-2 from Ibras to start things off against Taylor. Yeah, one of the things that Hudson Graham talked about in the first at-bat of the game for Taylor is just a guy who just takes really smart ABs, so do not expect him to make a bad decision as he ropes that one 100 off his bat. That one is into right field. Here comes a run for Walton. So Jackson Taylor comes through, ropes himself a 100-mile-an-hour RBI single into right center, and we've now got a 5-3 game.
I mean, we're getting a show here on Friday afternoon. This is better than any Valentine's Day dinner you could be having right now. It's the moment we're having here. You mean, how rare is it for us to see 100-plus exit velos twice in a game?
Yeah,
let alone
within an inning.
Yeah, within an inning of each other.
Parker Dastu, the Mercer commit, going to see if he can add to the good times here for Walton. Puts that in play, throw to Bowen in time. They're able to turn the double play.
That's a huge moment right there for Blessed Trinity. Really helped themselves out after surrendering that last run.
So Peterson to Bowen to Zagrin, results in 2 outs. Score's now 5-3 though, as Jackson Taylor got caught at second there. And that double play was unable to rip off a 100-mile-an-hour RBI single. Cut the lead to 2. William Crowell, the catcher, now at the plate. Sent that back foul. Ibras, another guy, not a huge frame, 5'8", 147 pounds, but able to work that fastball into the mid-80s. That's in for a strike at 84-2. Ibras got a little swagger to him.
Yeah, he's got some. He's kind of just strutting back to the mound. A lot of confidence.
It's got a 1-0 count here to Crowell.
I mean, there's a chance this is his first varsity game as a sophomore. This is a kind of squad where it's not really easy to make varsity as a freshman, so could be looking at his first varsity game. He's showing some confidence. I love to see it.
He was a preseason All-State underclass last month up in Flowery Branch, an event you were at. Oh,
almost
just misses.
Almost got him to bite, too. Great pitch.
Blessed Trinity took a 5-1 lead, but Walton able to come through with a couple runs. Excuse me. Man, still being a little bit sick. Getting to me. That one's going up the middle.
There we go. We got a one-run ball
Walker
game.
has made it a 5-4 game as we sit here with 2 outs in the 5th.
What did I say when we started this inning? It's not over. Walton scratching their way back into this. I mean, Blessed Trinity, you know, as much as Terrence Bowman would argue, Blessed Trinity's bats outside of his have been cold since those first couple runs have been scored. And, I mean, they're trying to get out of this and hopefully bring some heat back to the lineup.
Now Devin Crone's turn. 1 on, 2 outs. Now a 1-run game as he skies the first one. Green on the run. That one's going back foul and unable to make a play on it. Crone gets on, it'll be Todd Haley. Then it's Logan Weidman, and we'll have seen Walton hit all the way around, so we'll see if Ebros can deny them that. Miss high out of his hands at 83-4 and run the count even. I feel like since Valentine's Day, we really should have had somebody go around trying to sell those like light up roses that they do at like R&B concerts.
Yeah.
That would have been a good play. Comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 pitch away from ending this inning. We'll see if Devin Crone can keep Walton rolling.
Certainly still a chance to make things happen. We'll see if Imbros can get himself out of here.
Runner's taking off for second. Gavin Green throws the
he kicked it.
Ball. Oh, he gets away from him. Runner's on the. Oh man, can't
Wow.
get it in left field. A bit of a calamity there. As throws the second. Ball gets booted into left field, and now we've got a runner standing at third with 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the danger of putting that ball on the right side of the base, and drops in early. He just kicked it straight out into left field. Helped himself out a whole lot, whether it was intentional or not. That could prove absolutely massive here, putting a runner on third base now in this situation.
Count is 2-2. Ebros try to see if he can get himself out of this jam. They're calling
Who's
for
asking for catcher interference?
Oh, they got catcher interference, so he's taking off for first. We're going to have him at the corners. Here comes Todd Haley.
This is a big, big moment when you just look at these minute mistakes that have been made here by Blessed Trinity that have allowed Walton to put themselves in a great position to potentially tie this game before they get into the bottom of the 5th.
Gavin Green, as we mentioned, a freshman, a guy who's played a lot of high-pressure situations, played in a lot of travel tournaments here at LakePoint Sports, but that throw down to second allows the runner to end up at third, and then the catcher interference, and now got him at the corners. Ebros misses outside. Preseason All-State Todd Haley, opportunity here to tie this thing up or even give his team the lead. Be a big swing of momentum here for Walton if they can notch this thing at 5-5.
I think the biggest thing is just keeping your cool out there on the mound. I mean, Imbros can't really control anything that's happened here after he recorded those 2 outs.
Yeah, they got the double play, and then things have gone awry since then. A bit of a floater, but unable to get that in for strike. Counts now 2-1. Haley's showing a lot of patience up there.
You definitely got to play your cards right in this at bat. This is a huge situation for your squad, and you don't want to jump on something that you shouldn't.
Ebros goes breaking ball to run the count even at 2-2.
Now you start putting bat on ball if you're Haley.
He does put bat on ball, rips that one to third, gathers throws in time. They're able to get Todd Haley at first and end the threat, but we've now got a 5-4 game as Walton has fought their way back into this one. We'll be back with more from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Our hands now, Weston Chen back on the mound for Walton.
Feels like it's been a while since we
Yeah, seriously.
got to see Walton's pitching.
Carson Zagarin at the plate. He'll be followed by Cade Kiss and Wesley Bass. See if Blessed Trinity can respond. Things were going awfully easy for them as Chen drops that in for a strike, 68.5 on that breaking ball. They raced out to the early lead. Walton has now issued him a challenge. We'll see how Blessed Trinity responds. You showed a video of some old footage of Chen, and he wasn't doing that double leg kick.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you say old, it was from November, so like
Well,
relatively recently.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, but then you look at the stuff that he's been doing since January, preseason All-State. He introduced this kind of leg kick. I would assume it's more of a timing mechanism.
Yeah.
The angle we had from preseason All-State kind of looked like what he's doing is kicking his foot back and then kind of swinging it forward to create leverage like we talked about the last time he came out. And I think it works really well. And I think, you know, with his kind of frame, you got to pitch to whatever advantage you can get velo-wise, and certainly gets it up there, you know, being 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, it's certainly working right now. He's got a full count here against Carson Zagarin.
Zagarin has lost the specs.
Oh, man, absolutely
Wow.
nasty as he gives him
Wow.
a knee-buckling breaking ball for the first strikeout.
Yeah, I absolutely love the pitching style of Weston Chen.
Yeah, this is going to be a arm to follow without question as we go through the spring and into the summer months. Chen again plays for GA Sandlots at 2026, so we will have him here this summer at LakePoint Sports. Now Cade Kiss's turn. Kiss, the Georgia Southern signee. Miss going to run the count to 2-0. One through 5 in this order, about as daunting as it gets, and that's minus another bat in Aiden Zagarin. So then you're talking about 6 guys that you got to deal with that are an absolute handful. So it was a 3-0. Strike in the outside corner. So a walk to Kiz. Now here comes Wesley Bass. Jackson Taylor going over to calm his pitcher down after issuing that 1-out walk. Well, shows bunt, skips that one right into the glove of Crowell.
Yeah, and I know we've been talking about Weston Chen's pitching a lot, but now with a runner on base, you see how he kind of picks up the speed in that motion, and I think it does kind of change the way that you have to watch him as a hitter. Looks like that pickoff might have gotten away from him there. Runner stays at first.
It did not pitch from the stretch in his first inning of work, so these are his first offerings with a runner on. Another throwback over to keep Kiz at bay. Wesley Bass, part of that Georgia National travel program. We did one of their games this past summer. He ended up being player of the game.
If I'm remembering correctly, made a fantastic play. Maybe it was a defensive play, or could have been a big hit that he had some good exit velo on. I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but I remember the big moment that he had.
Not there to calm Chen down a little bit. It is a different delivery from the stretch, without question. Let's see if he's able to gather himself here as he's going to resume this AB against Wesley Bass. 2-0's the count. There is the 2-0. There he's able to drop that breaking ball in for a strike.
Good way to work it back and get yourself to 2-1 now. Seems like he's really occupied by the runner on first.
Miss high, now 3-1.
This might just be what Blessed Trinity needed. Just a couple of chances to get on base. Hopefully set yourself up for a big hitting performance from somebody here.
Davis Peterson in the on-deck circle, the second baseman. Oh, and man, just misses outside, and now he's going to issue back-to-back walks with Davis Peterson stepping to the plate. Just one out. You can see another arm out in the bullpen getting loose for Walton. Dastu and Jackson Taylor going out to have a word with Chen. I'm not quite sure what's happening here at the moment. Maybe it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter stepping in for Blessed Trinity. See who's going to take over for Davis Peterson.
And Peterson, the one who was hitting when they scored that run on that kind of odd play where he beat out the run or the throw to first, and then the run scored on a drop tag at home.
All right, straps are on those batting gloves, and here we go, number 17 stepping to the plate for the first
Aiden
time.
Pack, 2027 right-handed pitcher and third baseman, number 92 in the state. Sorry, in the nation. Number 2 in the state.
Yeah, this is the guy out of Michigan that Hudson Graham was talking about. Steps in, and an immediate weapon for Blessed Trinity as he ropes the first one, 84-2 off his bat foul.
Kind of an unorthodox stance there.
Yeah, we got him exit velos around 90.7, bat speed up around 70 miles an hour. Coming down from Michigan to be part of this Blessed Trinity program. You're allowed to say that when it's not a public school.
Yeah, yep.
Chen gets that in for a strike. Playing for East Cobb Astros and is travel days. 6 foot, 165 pounder.
You don't really see a guy put the bat out that far over the plate like that.
Yeah. A lot of wiggle to that bat without question. But
very Anthony Rizzo-esque.
That's right. Mickey Tettleton was a guy who played in the 90s, and the bat would be wiggling to the back. But to have it going out across the plate is an interesting play. And it's not as though he doesn't bring it back and get set again.
No.
He actually swings from that same plane.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And he's really leaned over in the box.
Still able to produce some pretty high exit velos.
See if he can bring one here. Score a run maybe for Blessed Trinity. Help yourselves out.
Pack watches that in for a strike and a strikeout. Now 2 down.
Yeah, that was a great pitch by Chen. I think he kind of realized that everything he was throwing on the inside was getting fouled off the hands, and bring it again, try and make him hold, and that's exactly what happened.
Gavin Green back to the plate. Freshman catcher digs in. 2 on, 2 out. Blessed Trinity seeking some insurance runs. Chen misses low. Hard to see the blankets getting broken out. It's hard to believe it was 25 degrees last night here in Georgia, and mid-50s here at the start of game time today.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have mid-50s. I know it's going to get a little colder going into the night. I think we're going to probably get down into the mid-40s. Yeah, by the time things wrap up down here, probably about 45.
Rips that one into right field on the run, able to haul that in for the inning-ending out. Blessed Trinity strands 2. They lead 5-4, and we come back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the
Welcome back as we continue our coverage of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament here, the opening day of these proceedings. We'll have games this Friday and Saturday, and again next Friday and Saturday. So games on both the north and south quad. So come on out to LakePoint Sports if you got the baseball bug and want to see some extremely high-level talent. There's a number of MLB scouts expected this weekend, as there are guys who most surely will hear their names called during this summer's MLB draft, and some guys who could potentially looking at that same thing a year from now. But lots of big-time names out here, so make your way out if you want to take in some baseball over these next couple weekends.
And looks like Yimbross will continue for Blessed Trinity up on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, we wonder with Aiden Pack coming in if we were going to get to see him in action. He's got a fastball up in around 91. I'm sure we'll see him at some point this weekend, but it will be Ebros's show once again here. Lots to like about Connor Ebros. I mean, we mentioned the frame. Really similar to what we were talking about with Chen, like how you're able to generate that much velocity out of a little bit of a smaller frame. But I like the moxie from Ebros, I like the arsenal, and got himself into some trouble this last inning of work, but see what he can do here and keep Blessed Trinity in this game. I think that's the main thing. Maintain that lead, the small lead as it is, but see if your offense can get something going, add some insurance runs as we move along here in the 6th inning. Logan Weidman, he started things off last inning. He will start things off this inning. It's a busy one for sure for Walton as they were able to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep riding that momentum. That huge 5th inning should have been a massive confidence boost to everybody in that dugout for Walton. And now Weidman gets to start things off again and hope to keep going. I mean, we're into our final 2 innings here. This is a big-time moment for the offense.
Miss there. We started things off in the bright sun, and we're going to end it under the lights as it's starting to get a little bit darker here. We approach 6 o'clock hour here in Eastern time zone.
You never really know what could happen at LakePoint after dark.
That's right. Now 3-0 as Ebros just trying to work his way back into this count. He's missed glove side consistently here in this AB.
Certainly just want to settle down here, but you don't really want to give him something to jump on.
Bet he goes breaking ball here. Drops the breaking ball in for a strike. No,
How
goes
much are we betting?
fastball right down the middle.
Whatever works.
That's right.
There's a reason we're not out on that mound right now.
That's, well.
We're behind the plate
yeah.
calling the pitches. See what Weidman's got here for him. 3-1.
Rips that 100.4 off his bat.
Oh, that one
That's
went foul. Man, I thought we were going to have a third.
Wow. He was sitting fastball there and just barely missed that one as it goes down the third baseline.
I mean, maybe this is just us never really getting to see the metal bats in play with some of these guys when they're here over the summer.
Guess. Yeah, we got
it's
a
all
lot
wood
of
bats except future games.
That's right.
See what we've got. 3-2.
This one 92.5. That one's going foul too.
Just a little bit early that time around.
All right, next one's going to be about 84, and it's going to go. It's actually going to go in play.
Yeah. We'll see what Connor Imbros has here on 3-2. It's been a long at bat now for Weidman, trying to win this matchup.
That one back foul, 64.5. It's quite the drop. He shoots one back 100 miles an hour. That would be something.
That may be more impressive than hitting it full that
right.
hard.
All right, counts full. He draws himself a walk to lead things off here in the 6th. So we'll go from Logan Weidman to Wyatt Reuter, second baseman. Bat, I'm hoping we see off the bench for Walton, Dom Rossi, who we got to see a lot of this past summer.
We might be getting him right
Aviators.
now. It looks like something's changing here. Not sure if we're going to see another pitching change. Looks like we are going to see another pitching change potentially. Maybe coach was waving him off. Let's see. Typically, we've seen everybody kind of take a look over to the bullpen, and then somebody shows up out of nowhere.
That's right.
So, there it is.
Yep, there it is. We're going to have another pitching change for Blessed Trinities. We got a runner on with nobody out here to start things off in the 6th. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll tell you about Blessed Trinity's new pitcher.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Welcome back. New pitcher on the mound for Blessed Trinity. We'll get you a little intel here once we can see that.
Number.
Yeah, see that number on his back. I believe it's a register.
It does look like a number 7 there. That would be Ryder Register, the 2026. Primarily a middle infielder.
East Cobb Astro. He's the 5th-ranked second baseman in Georgia in 26, 111 overall, 6'9" in the 60. But we're taking a look at him on the mound where he's up to 81. with a changeup around 75, 76, curveball around 70 to 71. Also has a slider that sits 66 to 68. Right now, you're just looking for strikes if you're Blessed Trinity, and try to allow the defense to work behind you and get to the plate and see if you can add to your lead and get some kind of insurance run here and head into the 7th.
Yeah, and on the opposite end, Walton, you're just trying to continue to ride this momentum. You started off with the walk for Weidman, so you're going to have the runner on first base to start things off now, and you just want to keep rolling here.
All right, Wyatt Reuter still at the plate. Then it's the top of the order with Walker Killamette. I don't know that I really understand the hood.
Yeah, there's some guy. I think Trevor Condon also.
Yeah, he's a
hoodie
big
guy.
hood guy. Yeah.
I don't either. I think it would bother me more than anything.
Gets that down.
Bunt.
Green throws it, man.
Oh,
the throw
my.
is wide though. Wyatt Reuter gets the bunt down, able to advance the runner. The throw from Gavin Green goes to the left side of the bag, and Reuter standing at first base with now Logan Weidman at second.
That was a textbook bunt right there, especially in that situation. And when you force the catcher to make that play, Gavin Green, a bit of a wider frame as well, his momentum totally going in the opposite direction. That's an extremely tough throw to make in the first place. And you pair that with the speed of Reuter, it was a match made in heaven on a perfect bunt.
Well, now you're Walton, and you're back to the top of the order with nobody out and 2 on, and you've got Walker Killamette with Matthew Haber and Jackson Taylor to follow.
Yeah, and it's nice. You've got a little bit of speed on the base paths as well. It actually looks like Colin McCone on second base, replacing Weidman. Weidman was the DH in the lineup.
Okay, so we got a pinch runner for the DH representing the tying run.
So that gives you even more speed to potentially get around. Not to trash on Weidman, but 6'6", you're probably not too fast.
Another bunt.
Just barely gets
lets
foul.
that go foul.
Not a bad bunt there either from Walker Killamette.
Oh, nice job balancing the bat
that
there.
was impressive.
That Cat 7 looking good there, standing at home plate on its own.
Looks like a Cat X. Cat X hybrid potentially.
There you go. Let's see what Walker Killamette can do with it in his hands.
Or we won't.
Hopes that foul. See the guys from Cherokee in the background there, coaching staff.
Yep, we got a final for Cherokee and Seconder.
That one's right back up the middle. Walker Killamette comes through. Runner taken off for third. The throw is going to hit off the second baseman, and it's going to stop, and another run's going to score for Walton, and we're all notched up at 5-5 off the bat of Walker Killamette.
I hate to toot my own horn, but at the beginning of the 5th inning, I said we are not done yet. It was a 3-run ball game, and Walton has stormed back and tied this game up here in the top of the 6th. No outs. You got runners on first and second. This has been absolutely massive 5th and 6th inning for Walton.
Matthew Haber now, chance to put his team on top. They have absolutely stormed back. Gone on reliever right of register to get themselves a 5-5 ball game now here in the 6th.
Yeah, and let's give some credit to some small ball. We've seen a lot of bunt attempts here for Walton. It's what got one of their runners on base, and going to continue to see it from them if I had to guess. Final scores around the LakePoint Sports Complex. Cherokee Seconder. Seconder gets the win 1-0. Chapel Hill bests North Paulding 7-2. And Roswell beats Kell 3-0.
Shows bunt again, gets that one down. Pitcher has it, throws to first in time for the out, but runners both advance now at second and third.
First out of the inning now with 2 runners in scoring position. This is a huge spot walking into for Jackson Taylor, who in the last huge spot he had put one out into the outfield and scored a run that kind of got everything going.
100 miles an hour off his bat. We'll see what he can do here, the Clemson signee.
They're going to intentionally walk him.
They intentionally walk Jackson Taylor to get to Parker Dastu.
It's a business decision right there from Blessed Trinity's coaching staff, and I'll be frank, I don't mind it.
Well, now the Mercer signee is going to have the pressure on him now with one out, 2 on. Excuse me, bases loaded.
Bases loaded now with 1 out. Trying to get that double play back in order, and you eliminate a huge batting factor from Jackson Taylor.
Dastu watches ball 1.
Register probably looking to hit the lower half of the zone here and try and force a ground ball.
Dastu ropes that. Nope, 67-8 off his bat going foul.
It's an absolutely massive spot for Walton, especially when you consider that Blessed Trinity's bats just have not been the same since really the 2nd or 3rd inning.
Register misses high, counts now 2-1. Another one goes back foul. Did he just, I think William Crowell just somehow like barehanded that.
Yeah, that was pretty
with
impressive.
His back to the pitcher. Wow, okay. William Crowell's got skills. He sets in the on-deck circle. Parker Dastu's got himself a 2-2 count. The base is loaded and 1 out. Swing and a miss. Register gets him down on strikes now, 2 down.
That's absolutely huge for Blessed Trinity, helping themselves out a lot with that strikeout.
The Raiders catcher, William Crowell, now steps in with bases loaded and 2 outs.
Got another game going final in 12. South Forsyth 2, Harrison 6.
That is a loaded Harrison squad.
Certainly.
Ooh,
watch out, North Cobb Christian.
Yeah, there.
North Cobb Christian and Decatur going to be matching up on this field after this one wraps up.
As I mentioned, a great day of baseball, great weekend here across campus. Micah Knox pitched in that one for Harrison. Thought maybe we might see Colin White in that game. Dominic Stevenson hitless, but this team still coming through with 11, South Forsyth coming through with 11 hits to get that 6-2 win. One the count here to Crowell. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Walton has managed to notch this thing in a 5-5 game. Register throws back to second. A bit of a dicey maneuver with the runner at third.
Got 3 other games still in action around the complex. Allatoona 6, Petrie Ridge 2. Actually, just going into the bottom of the 7th there. So Petrie Ridge on their last shot.
Who did Allatoona? Did they throw Cooper Underwood today?
Let's see. They sure did.
Rips that one foul down the left side.
Yeah, 4.2 innings of work for Underwood. Gave up 2 runs, had 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Campbell up 6-0 in the top of the 7th over Cambridge, and then Sequoia up 6-1 over Milton. Diego Becerra on the mound for Sequoia. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 run.
7 strikeouts. Spent some time with Diego pregame and really seems like a guy who is intent on making the most of this junior season and the summer to come. Crowell rips that 95-5 off his bat. Second baseman has it, throws to first in time to end the inning. We've got a tie ball game, though, 5-5 as we move along. You are watching the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feet stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
All tied up at 5-5. Looks like we got a new pitcher on our hands here for Walton.
Is that number 15, I believe? That would be Adler Bowen, 2026 right-handed pitcher. Number 54, I believe right-handed pitcher in Georgia. Gets the fastball up to 83 out there on the mound.
Okay, 6'4" DP player. As Hudson mentioned, most of these guys at Walton do end up going through that 6'4" system. It's awfully close to their campus in Marietta.
Yeah, I mean, 6'4" and East Cobb Astros are pretty well getting a free commercial here.
Yeah.
With these two teams.
Pretty much. Well, Gavin Green will lead things off for Blessed Trinity, then Quinn Davis, and we're back to Terrence Bowen in the top of the order. See if they can get something going. Jackson Taylor looking pretty sharp over there at third base.
I got a great picture of him. You'll probably see it on our socials. I got a great picture of him making a throw over at third base earlier in the game.
Primarily a shortstop, but when you've got Parker Dastu, it kind of allows you the flexibility to move those guys around.
Can't have 8 shortstops on every team like the roster says.
That's right. Yeah, it's always funny to me how you'll have so many guys on the same team that will be ranked shortstops.
Yeah, I mean, one of the game recaps that we did, or game rewinds that we did in the past couple of weeks, I believe we had 5 guys that were ranked shortstops all in the same lineup.
Yeah.
It's insane, but it's kind of the position where a lot of times your best player on the team tends to go to, but in a powerhouse squad that you can put together, it's pretty hard to not find a bunch of shortstops.
Well, Ian Smith taking his seat there around the first baseline. Now got a jacket on, so guy from Florida can only take so much when we start talking about the cold.
It does look like we have a pinch hitter here, Davis Bielstein, I believe is how you say it. Sewanee commit, class of 2025.
So he takes over for Gavin Green.
And he is a outfielder / catcher, so we'll see him behind the plate in the 7th.
The count is now 0-2. Adler with that pink arm sleeve delivers. Breaking ball works that in there for a strikeout.
Buckled the knees. You could see it.
A little Joe Kelly.
Oh, yeah. With the specs.
Yep, and he's
the
jawing. Yeah,
oh, yeah,
I love it. Yep.
He's feeling himself.
That's right.
Joe Kelly's such a fun player to watch.
And he is ready to roll. Adler
He's even got the long hair like Kelly had at one point.
Yep.
It's pretty perfect. Ooh,
just misses in the outside to Quinn Davis.
If you're Blessed Trinity, you're hoping you can get Quinn Davis on and set up Terrence Bowen for something here.
And that's got some nice break to it.
Yeah.
And it's got these guys tied up.
And he's moving fast.
Yep. Well, it is Valentine's Day. He might have somewhere to be. He's got reservations.
I hope he made them late.
That's right.
Because we're already at 6:16 as it stands.
Davis sends that down the right side, and that is going to drop in for a base hit, and he's going to make his way. No, actually, it's going foul.
Looked like real close.
I thought it hit around the line, but no. He will, in fact, make his way back. Count will be 1-2, and the AB will continue.
Yeah, sometimes hard to see that ball when it's long distance here, but guess it went foul. That could have been a huge setup for Terrence Bowen to come up with just 1 out. I mean, last time around when he came up, there was already 2 outs when he hit that extremely well-struck double, and it kind of put them into a tough spot for the rest of the inning. Caught a little more of that one.
Sends that right into right field, but that one will be caught, and that will be out number 2. So Bowen at the plate now with 2 outs and nobody on.
I mean, if he wants to hit it 107.9 again, this time get a little bit more launch angle, and you could create a run by yourself.
That's right. Now we are all tied up at 5-5. Now we're back to the top of the order for Blessed Trinity. Right guys coming up, but definitely would like to have a little bit fewer than 2 outs. Oh, Adler gets that in for a strike.
Yeah, he looks great out there on the mound right now. I really like what he's throwing.
There's been a lot to like amongst these Walton relievers. It's a swing and a miss from Bowen. He's smiling back at him.
I'll go ahead and just put this out there. Adler Bowen, put that on the film. You just got Terrence Bowen to swing and miss on a quite the breaking ball. That is send that to anybody that would like to see a great pitch.
See where he goes here. Goes back to that breaking ball, sails on him. Adler Bowen's got him in a 1-2 count. Goes back to the breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss from Terrence Bowen to end the inning. And Adler Bowen, man, he's strutting off the mound. He absolutely earned it, too. We're moving on, and we are still tied at 5-5 in this matchup from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the
Inning number 7, been sick and almost took over there for a second. Inning number 7 in this matchup from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Got a crowd forming now behind home plate. Blessed Trinity, the number 2 ranked team in Prep Baseball Georgia's Power 25. Walton, the number 21 team in their rankings. And this has not disappointed. We saw Blessed Trinity take a 5-1 lead, and Walton fought their way back, and just a lot of timely hitting. A lot of small ball has worked their way back into this, but their relievers have absolutely been fantastic. And the last one we saw, Adler Bowen following Weston Chen. I mean, it's been a lot to like from these Walton pitchers.
Yeah, and momentum is certainly on their side. 94.3 off the bat right there, heading up straight up center. Looks like that one's going to get caught out there in the outfield.
Yeah, our AI cameras did not play along for that Devin Crone at bat, but there's now 1 down for Todd Haley.
Good start here for Register. Had another game go final over on field 13. Peachtree Ridge 6, Altoona 2. Milton Sequoia, Cambridge Campbell, the only other 2 games still rolling.
Seen a few minor upsets when you start looking at these matchups early on.
Yeah.
Definitely thought Harrison, Harrison
got the win.
Yeah, I thought Harrison would get that win. Looking at Alatoona, Peachtree Ridge, thought maybe Alatoona would get out of there with the victory. Works that in for a strike. It's in for another strike. Comes the 1-2 from Register, and misses high.
It almost seemed like he didn't fully complete his windup there. It was almost a quick pitch of sorts.
Yeah, Seckinger mentioned 1-0 win over Cherokee sends that foul.
Strong breaking ball there for Register to cause that foul ball.
Combined 3 hits in that Cherokee Seckinger game.
Wow. Pitching matchup for the ages.
Yeah. Jin Kasua goes hitless in that one.
Slows it down again. It's fouled off again.
Seems to be a misstep. So this has Seckinger winning 1-0. And then when you go back to it, it has Cherokee winning 1-0.
Interesting.
So who knows?
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go with Cherokee 1. I think I can find his confirmation on that.
Comes a 2-2 from Register, gets that in. Oh, that just misses. Counts now full to Haley. Logan Weidman in the on-deck circle.
Yes, a win for Cherokee.
Okay.
1-0.
Okay. It's like Aware TV, we had things a little bit jumbled. Haley shoots that one to the outfield and on the run, and right, the center fielder has it in left center, and they'll now be 2 down.
Got some good pop off that one, 85.4, just a little bit too much launch angle there.
I think our cameras are getting a little tired as this game's going on with the switching into the outfield.
That's, you know what, it happens. It's the first game.
That's
Everybody's
right.
getting warmed up today.
That's right. Now Logan Weidman with 2 outs and nobody on.
He's gotten things started the last 2 big runs they've had, so see if he can bring his magic here with 2 outs. Some kind of change that the umpire had to denote. Maybe they moved him when they made that change when they brought in the pinch runner the last inning around. They might have put him out in on defense. Oh, he's plunked.
Weidman making his way down to first after the hit by pitch, and Wyatt Reuter's turn now.
Gotten on for free these last 2 at bats. A walk last time around, and now a free pass via the hit by pitch.
Last thing you want to happen if you're Blessed Trinity is Wyatt Reuter gets on, because it's back to that top of the order, and that has been a problem area. First pitch swinging, rips that down the left side, but that's going foul.
Just barely foul, too. Don't be surprised if we see some leather over there at third base.
Yep.
Saw a great play to end that first inning.
Yeah, Cade Kiz can absolutely bring the leather at third. Oh, 1's to counter Reuter. Back to it, Kiz has it, throws across the diamond to end the inning. Going to get out of the bottom of the 7th, all tied up at 5-5. This is a drama, to say the least, here to start things off in the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Bottom of the 7th in a 5-5 game in the first day of action from the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. This has absolutely lived up to the hype. Adler Bowen about to bring that energy back on the mound for Walton, and he's going to have to face Caden Dawson, Carson Zagarin, and Cade Kiz as Walton tries to hold this potent offense at bay.
You really couldn't ask for a better way to open things up here for the baseball season at LakePoint.
Caden Dawson, no stranger to big moments here on these fields, to see how he can start things off here in the 7th. The #1 ranked player in Georgia in the class of 2027.
Yeah, when I caught up with him at Future Games and did an extra bases interview with him, said his favorite MLB player is Bryce Harper, and it very clearly shows in his stance and his swing at the plate.
Showing some plate discipline here, and the count is now 2-0 as Adler Bowen definitely staying away from him. Bowen, another miss, counts now 3-0.
Interested to see, maybe this is a lefty problem here for Bowen. We saw how good he looked.
Could be.
Against the righties, but 4 straight balls. And Caden Dawson's going down to first.
All right, so that's going to bring up Carson Zagarin. Is that going to be it for Adler Bowen?
Looks like I think he's just trying to get pumped up.
Okay.
I think you sit on the bench, that little break that you just got there. You got to fire yourself back up. We saw he brought all the fire he needed for himself, maybe trying to feed off his teammates here for his 2nd inning of work.
All right, so senior Carson Zagarin digs in. Five straight balls now out of the hand of Adler Bowen.
I almost wonder if maybe he's best as a 1-inning guy, either as a setup or a closer. Sometimes for those relief pitching guys, it's really tough to go for the 6-inning save.
There, that's in for a strike, his first of the inning.
6 batter save, not 6-inning.
6-inning
save would be
a
impressive.
Win. Yeah,
and a win.
Yep. Comes the 1-1. Bowen, another miss, count now 2-1. Has not found himself ahead in the count here in the 7th. 6 of his 7 pitches have been balls.
Zagarin just waiting on the right one.
That's in for a strike, count now 2-2.
Just catches the top of the zone.
Zagarin to be followed by Cade Kiz, then Wesley Bass.
You almost have to hope that he goes for that slider on the outside that he got Terrence Bowen to go down on. Setting up on the outside.
Yep. Swing and a miss, goes down on strikes, 84.9 out of the hands of Adler Bowen, and that's out number 1.
That's what we wanted to see. See if Bowen continues to bring some energy up here on the mound now. Kind of cleared his mind since that 4-pitch walk.
Runners taking off for a second. They got Dawson.
That's it. Wow.
Oh, they didn't get him.
It. Wow.
They did not get Caden Dawson able to dance out of the way of the glove of Parker Dastu, and he's going to be standing at second base now.
And they're trying to say that he went out of the base path, but I really don't think he did. I mean, Caden Dawson had already taken a wider base path. He wasn't going straight for the base, and he's allowed a couple of feet. I mean, I wouldn't call him out.
I think he just jumped out of the way.
Yeah, it wasn't an egregious attempt to miss the tag. He was in the baseline and jumped out of the way of the tag and continued straight to the base. I mean, I think it was clean as we watched it in the moment. The umpires are going to converse about it, but that was great work, heads-up work by the infield and by Adler-Bowen to get the pick off, and you did exactly what you needed to. It just looks like they didn't get the tag applied, and they're going to call him out.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow. So, all right, Caden Dawson.
That's big.
They got him. So he will be out number 2, and Wyatt Reuter and Parker Dastu over there arguing for themselves, and plays out in their favor. So now down to the last out. Cade Kidd going to gather himself here. I think we're now going to hear from the other side of things. Adler-Bowen back on the mound. A turn of events there. Blessed Trinity thought they were going to have Caden Dawson at second off some deft base running, but instead he is out.
I believe Walton's been using a pitch com, but right now it looks like the catcher's getting signs straight from the coach.
Bowen delivers, misses. Ball 1 to Kiz.
Definitely changes Cade Kiz's. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, telling guys to get back in the dugout. But definitely changes the mindset Cade Kiz has coming into the box now. I mean, you were pretty well set up, and then now that whole delay happens, and now there's 2 outs, and everything's kind of sitting on you.
In first strike, now 1-1.
That slider is lethal. I mean, a beautiful pitch. Something that Adler-Bowen can certainly hang his hat on.
Here comes with the 1-1. Swing and a miss down to the last strike.
Pitch sequences are also just fantastic. See what he's got here. You see that energy's back. Moving quickly.
Yep. 1-2, delivers, misses on the outside. Tries to get him with the same pitch that he got Terrence Bowen on.
Got 2-2 now. I think he goes high and inside. Fastball. Goes to the outside. Fouled off hard. 86.6.
Kiss gets on, we'll see Wesley Bass. Count's now full. Could not ask for higher drama to start off the baseball season and the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Seeing a 5-1 game turn into a 5-5 tie here in the bottom of the 7th. Kiss rips that one back foul.
Keeps things going here. Continues to extend this at bat. See if Bowen's still got that energy we've seen from him.
Bowen misses, so he issues the walk to Cade Kiz with 2 outs. And here comes Wesley Bass, Georgia State signee.
An interesting thing that I noticed while I was out there watching the first inning from Blessed Trinity, the 2-3-4. So Caden Dawson, Carson Zagger, and Cade Kiz. And actually, I think Wesley Bass as well is using the same. They're all using the same bat. They've just been trading it off.
Yep, and so Hudson Graham was telling the story of that bat. It was actually one that they used last summer, and the Zagarins and Caden Dawson actually shared it during future games.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah. They were running around back and forth between fields with this bat.
I was about to say they were not on the same teams.
Yeah.
The Zagarin twins on the senior future games roster.
Yep. So that bat's got some pop to it.
I guess they've allowed Wesley Bass to join in on the fun.
Yep. One-0 count here. Adler-Bowen back on the mound for his second inning of work for Walton. He's been awfully impressive in this relief role.
He just misses the top corner there on that one.
He's got a 2-0 count now to Bass. 12th ranked outfielder in Georgia. Exit velo's up to 91. Kid can absolutely fly. 6'7", 60. Oh. Count now 3-0. If Bass gets on, it's Davis Peterson. Bowen stepping off. Feels like a playoff atmosphere, to say the least. Walks Bass as he flips the bat back behind him. So back-to-back walks now, and here comes Davis Peterson.
Now you got to be sweating. A ball in the outfield could score you the game-winning run for Blessed Trinity.
Just a moment to regroup here for Adler Bowen.
A massive spot for Davis Peterson. Played a role in scoring a run in his first at bat where he ran out a ball in the infield and reached safely at first, and then a run scored on a dropped tag at home plate. And then we seemingly had some kind of substitution the last time he came up, but still in the lineup, so maybe something we missed on our end. But Peterson in the biggest spot you could find, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs with a runner in scoring position.
First pitch misses high, 75.6 out of the hands of Bowen. Parker Dastu telling him to calm down. It's been an epic start here to this Georgia Dugout Club Tournament weekend.
Struggling a little bit with the control now, once again, for Adler Bowen.
(2-0), swing and a miss. Makes it 2-1. Peterson happens to get on. It's William Hamaker, the DH. Peterson sends that one to the outfield on the run. Center fielder has it.
Great catch.
Absolutely great catch to end the inning.
Are we playing ties? We're finding this out at the same time you guys do.
Yep.
I don't think so. No, we're going to extras.
All right, we are going to extra innings. All notched up at 5-5. We'll be back with the 8th inning of action as we roll along in the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feet stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Free baseball here as we open things up at the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Actually, it's all kind of free baseball when you're doing these broadcasts, but we get free baseball beyond the 7 innings. As you see that flip over to 8 on our scoreboard now. Ryder Register is on the mound again. He's got now Walker Killamette, Matthew Haber, and Jackson Taylor. So the right guys at the right time for Walton if they're going to get things going here in the top of the 8th inning in a 5-5 tie.
I was pretty interested to see if we'd see Register come back out for a third inning of work. I mean, you're asking a lot out of a guy who came in kind of randomly.
Yep.
It almost seemed like late in this game, but they're going to ride it out with him.
As you mentioned, we were unclear whether or not this game was going to go into extra innings or if we were going to have a tie, as Killamette sends that into the glove of Terrence Bowen, who tracks that into center field.
Beautiful nighttime sky.
Yep.
Emerson, Georgia. Not something we've really seen at all on these broadcasts.
No,
we typically try to do our work here in the daylight.
We are under the lights, 1 down for Matthew Haber.
Meanwhile, we've got 4 games already rolling in that second window. Walker and North Cobb getting kicked off on field 11. Northgate, North Springs in the bottom of the first on 12. East Paulding, Jones County on 14, and Savannah Christian versus East Forsyth on field 15.
Meanwhile, Decatur and North Cobb Christian are waiting the end of this one. Could be here for a while.
Yeah, I got a feeling we probably will be.
Comes a 1-0 from Register, sends that one foul.
Our last 2 games have gone final on field 9 and 10. Sequoia and Milton, I believe, was one we were waiting on, and Campbell and Cambridge both gone final now.
So 1-2 from Register. It's going to miss, run the count even. Check swing. He did not go. Count's now full. Comes a payoff pitch from Register. Rips that one. Well struck ball. That's one's on its way into the outfield, and that will be caught by the second baseman, making a long run into right field.
Davis Peterson covered some ground.
Yeah, it looked as
or actually, no, that was Caden Dawson coming in.
Okay,
he just come in
right.
so far he passed the second baseman.
It looked there for a moment as if Dawson had to duck for the second baseman to make that catch, but all right, that's into the glove of Dawson for second out. Now here comes Jackson Taylor. Taylor intentionally walked in his last AB, the one before that, a 100.9 mile an hour RBI single.
Be a huge moment here in the top of the 8th to try and extend this inning and keep yourselves out of at least as much danger as you could be in, keeping it tied going into the bottom of the 8th.
Back-to-back misses to Taylor.
Yeah, I would assume Register wouldn't be thrilled to walk him here, but at the same time avoiding chaos.
Count now 3-0.
See what Register has to offer here. Like we mentioned, he's through 2.2 now in this relief appearance, so certainly pushing his time.
3-0's down the middle for a strike. Slightly wondering if Jackson Taylor was going to swing at that.
Yeah, he was looking, but I think his biggest thing right now is just extend this inning.
On the 3-1, and that is in for a strike. Count now full.
Yeah, Taylor not happy that he waited on that one. Kind of hung out there for a second.
If he gets on, we'll see Parker Dastu. Rips that one, 75-1 off his bat, and that is into right center for a 2-out single.
Jackson Taylor's having a day. Yep. 3 hits now.
Hitters hit, and Jackson Taylor is most certainly that, as he's now on for Parker Dastu. Seen a lot more blankets out there now.
Yeah, I kind of feel the cold starting to creep into the studio here.
First pitch swinging. Dastu sends that one into right center. Everybody's on the run. Center fielder has it, and that's going to end the threat. It's on to the bottom of the 8th. We're still tied at 5-5. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Our play continues here in the opening game of the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Adler Bowen's out for another inning of work for Walton. He's got William Hamaker, then the catching spot, which was Gavin Green early on. But first pitch, William Hamaker sends out one into right field. Yeah, the camera did not adjust, but it's caught for an out, so to start things off.
Quick work, the first batter certainly helps out Walton.
Beilstein, the new catcher for Blessed Trinity, as of about an inning ago, taking over for Gavin Green, steps in with one out. 36 pitches now for relief pitcher Adler Bowen. First pitch misses high.
Just got the start of a 5th game now over on field 13, Elbert County, Fannin County, getting underway.
Now we're going to start to wonder if one of these other games is going to end before this one does.
As somebody that is sitting in this studio with you on this broadcast, and for the sake of our producer Maddie as well, I hope it does not get to that point.
That would be something. I wonder if they would actually just take the other game, the Decatur North Cobb Christian game, and just move it to another field.
I think you'd have to, I think, but I'm confident we'll find a victor sometime soon. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me, but we'll see.
Now we're sitting in the bottom of the 8th inning, a 5-5 game. Blessed Trinity has not scored since the 2nd inning. They raced out, scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and they've watched Walton just claw their way back into this thing. Beilstein sends that to the side. Dastu's got it, throws in
Great
time.
play.
Nice throw. Nearly on the edge of the grass there for the second out.
Yeah, well struck, 91.7 off the bat. Great play by Dastu at short.
Quinn Davis now will step in with 2 outs.
Already getting some action in the early goings of some of these games around over on field 15. Savannah Christian already down 3-0 against East Forsyth. Got a 1-2 ball game. East Paulding and Jones County over on field 14.
As I mentioned, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. time slot, we'll be bringing you a Georgia Dugout Club Tournament watch party during that 10 a.m. window.
Ooh, well struck right
Davis
there.
sends that one into the glove of the left fielder. Very quick inning. That's exactly what Adler Bowen needed as he came out for his 3rd inning in this relief role. We are moving on. It's still tied 5-5 when we return LakePoint Sports.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
we are rolling along in a game that has gone a lot further than I think we thought it was going to, as we sit here now. Moving on to the top of the ninth inning in a 5-5 game between Walton and Blessed Trinity. We've got a new arm on the mound for Blessed Trinity.
Zach Jansen, 2026 right-handed pitcher. Interested to see whose bats wake up first is kind of the thing you're looking for. Walton was certainly riding the momentum late in this game with the big runs coming in the 5th and 6th to really change the course of this one, and now almost waiting around. And Blessed Trinity side, they haven't scored a run since the 2nd inning, and just looking to make something happen here in the very, very late going.
Zachary Jansen, by the way, was one of our player of the games this summer for East Cobb Astros. Threw himself a 2-hit gem to earn player of the game during the 16U National Championship. So,
how about it?
Yep, so we have seen Zachary Jansen and what he's capable of in the past, so we'll see what he has in store here for Walton. And Beilstein going over signs. He's got William Crowell, Devin Crone, and Todd Haley coming to the plate for Walton in this inning.
Actually, it looks like it might be Gavin Green back behind the plate. Starting to think it is. So maybe they're allowing him to get back in at catcher.
Okay. Miss high from Jansen. So a number of player of the games from our travel games from this past summer taking the field in this one. Counts now 3-0 to Crowell. Game that started for us at 4 o'clock Eastern, or actually a couple minutes before there. Now getting close to 7 o'clock local time. In for a strike out of the hands of Jansen. Oh, we appreciate everybody out there spending a little bit of their Valentine's Day with us. So we choose you, as Ralph Wiggum would say. That one's going foul.
Good work here by Jansen to fight back and bring him to a full count.
Jansen's ready to roll.
Got him.
Yeah, gets the punch out. Man, some
fired up.
Absolute fire from Jansen there as he gets the K to start things off here in the 9th.
That's what you like to see. Relief pitchers, you got to feed off the energy you can take from the other side. And there's Jansen. He's ready to go for another one.
Devin Crone's turn now with 1 out. First pitch sends that down the side. First baseman has it. Zagarin will tag the bag for the 2nd out.
Love to see a good quick out there to keep the fuel going. Now 2 down for Walton.
All right, so Todd Haley steps out, and here comes Dom Rossi, the freshman.
A big spot here. The freshman to come in to pinch hit.
Another guy, I believe, Dom, was a player of the game for us during one of our broadcasts, but playing for Aviators this past summer. Excuse me.
Dom, one of our early spring player of the games.
Dom, the 3rd-ranked catcher in Georgia in 2028, 15th overall in the class, 2-time junior feature gamer in 2024 and 2023. He was a preseason All-State this year. 6'2", 193-pounder. This guy, when we talk about the lineage of catchers at Walton, when you got Jared Jones, Levi Clark, guys who are now at LSU and Tennessee, Dom Rossi has the makings of being the next guy in that group. He's first pitch swinging, sends that down the right side for a base hit.
Great work by Dom Rossi. 89 off the bat, straight through the middle. Great work. the first of many. He may have caught one in the opening game versus Lassiter, but first one we've seen.
Now Logan Weidman. The first of many hits that Rossi's going to have in that Walton uniform. Weidman first pitch.
Weak.
Oh, just some weak grounder that's going into center field as Rossi holds it second.
Just barely snuck through.
That was one of those ones where everyone was watching it in
Yeah.
slow motion.
You don't often see a spot, especially with such solid gloves in the middle infield, to just get one kind of roll past. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't come off the bat too hard, 69.9. Barely snuck past the pitcher. He was just off balance, couldn't make a play on it, and just kept going.
Yep, Jansen watched it go by him in slow-mo. Then the same thing for Bowen and for the second baseman Peterson. Now it's Wyatt Reuter.
See what we can do here now. 2 outs, 2 on. Walton trying to make something happen.
Reuter holds on the first pitch.
And obviously Walton off to a 1-0 start this season in their official games, and 21 in the rankings like we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. But how big would it be for Walton to try and get a win here and start Blessed Trinity season off 0-1, the number 2 team in the state?
Oh, so Reuter swings through that. Counts now 1-1. Jansen delivers. It's that one down left side. Kiss has it, but that's going foul.
A real slow roller there. Could have made things interesting. We know Kiss has certainly got the leather.
Rossi returns to second. Weidman to first. Ritter somehow gets on. It's going to be top of the order again with Walker Killamette. Spikes that. Jansen with the 2-2. Ritter sends that one to the left field. That's dropping down for a base hit. Runner's taken off.
Stop.
Rossi's going to hold it third.
Yep.
The bases are going to be loaded for Walker Killamette. Man, he just hit the brakes.
Yeah, you had to. They got that ball in really fast. Great work by out there in left field. I believe Wesley Bass still out there patrolling left field, and good work getting that ball in quickly. I know that Walton coach and Dom Rossi probably kicking themselves that they couldn't get in, but
it was just shallow enough, and he made
Yeah.
a quick enough play on it. Rossi, even with a head of steam, wasn't going to be able to get there in time. So now top of the order, Walker Killamette, bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 9th, 5-5 game. Jansen slips that in for a strike.
I know you want to be patient, but that was one to
Yeah.
that was one to punish.
Jansen with the 1-0. Skips away from catcher, but stops it from going any further. Jansen with the 2-0.
Just missed.
Walton's first run came via a bases loaded walk. They are 1 pitch from doing the exact same thing here in the top of the 9th.
Oh, wow.
They
Oh,
did not
just
get
gets
him.
back.
Man, that was awfully close at second base, but Weidman able to get back.
Good work by Peterson, just creeping in and almost got him. Luckily for Weidman, he's 6'6". So
Yeah.
not never really that far from the base.
No. Got a healthy lead. Down the middle for a strike. Killamette goes surrender Cobra there for a second on that pose, but 3-0 count. Walk is the go-ahead run. You can't knock the guy for watching that down the middle.
I want to say the umpire was just showing 2-2. Not sure. Yeah. Okay, so the umpire was showing 2-2. Miscommunication there with our scoreboard operator.
Okay.
Now we've got a full count.
Okay.
3-2.
All right, so now the count is full. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Jansen buying himself a few more moments here.
Let's see if Killamette can step up big. He watches it go by.
Yeah, Walker Killamette draws the walk, and Dom Rossi crosses the plate, and Walton, with the bases loaded walk, now leads 6-5 here in the top of the 9th.
I mean, what a turnaround. Walton just waited their turn in this game. It really came down to those long at-bats early in that inning and making that pitching change happen. And then you just opened the floodgates.
Yep.
2 innings. You really punished the pitching of Blessed Trinity. And now Walton finds themselves climbing out of a 5-1 deficit and now takes the lead. It just took a couple extra innings, but we got there. 6-5, Walton leads.
I go back to it. This game could have completely gotten out of hand. 5-1 after 2. This Blessed Trinity lineup, obviously this firepower that they have, could have easily gotten to the point where we're talking an 8-9-1 game. And they just managed to do enough with their relief pitching and fight their way back into this. Push Cameron Novak out, the starting pitcher for Blessed Trinity, and then they were just able to keep taking advantage of opportunities and situations, and now they've got themselves off a bases loaded walk, a 6-5 lead here in the 9th.
It's absolutely massive. And I mean, like you talked about, with that relief pitching, 2 innings from Weston Chin and then the 3 innings from Adler Bowen, just absolutely massive for this lineup. And even the 3rd inning that we got out of Siegel was pretty clean. So, yeah, just turning themselves around so quickly and staying composed after even giving up those 5 runs in the first 2 innings. And now just waiting their turn and earning it here late in this game.
Matthew Haber, who's 1 for 2 at the plate now. Bases still loaded. Comes Jansen with the 2-0.
We're at 3-0 now. Could potentially see yet another run come across.
And then you got Jackson Taylor coming to the plate. It's in for a strike. I don't think he's going to get the Barry Bonds treatment, but you certainly don't want to pitch to Jackson Taylor either with the bases loaded. Ooh, yep, so he's going to make his way down to first, and here comes another run. Now 7-5, Walton here in the top of the 9th.
I think you can almost expect Blessed Trinity to come out and probably make a pitching change.
Yep. Yeah,
you need a change of pace here. It's not quite working right now.
All right, that's going to be it for Jansen. 7-5 lead for Walton here in the top of the 9th. Got a new arm on the mound for Blessed Trinity. We'll be back to tell you more about another pitching change for Blessed Trinity.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Woogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty Mike.
New arm for Blessed Trinity is senior Bryson Baker. Baker with fastball up to 82. He's got a changeup 70-71 and a curveball that's 63-69.
First, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say just see what he can do here, inheriting a tough situation with the bases loaded after Walton has scored 2 runs here in the top of the 9th to take this lead and put some pressure on Blessed Trinity's lineup as we head to the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, first lefty look that this Walton lineup's going to have, so see how that adjustment changes here. Really proves favorable for the lefty-lefty matchup with Taylor coming up to the plate once he's done warming up here. So could have been probably a major factor in this pitching change is bringing in the lefty for Taylor.
Baker, 5'11", 165 pounds, plays his travel ball for Team Georgia. I mentioned this earlier today to you, and you think about a guy like Bryson Baker and another 20-25. There's a lot of these guys, Jackson Taylor stepping into the plate among them, who are playing their last games at LakePoint Sports.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy because, you know, you kind of get to have a full journey throughout your time here, and it's always interesting to see these guys come through.
First pitch swing, and Jackson Taylor sends that into left field on the run. Left fielder Bass has it. That's going to end the inning, but Walton has taken a 7-5 lead to see if they can get that to hold up. Pressure's on Blessed Trinity as we head to the bottom of the 9th from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
We are back, bottom of the 9th inning. Walton has taken a 7-5 lead off of 2 bases loaded walks in the top of the 9th. You got a new pitcher on the mound for Walton. Who are we looking at?
Nolan Farner, a 2026 right-handed pitcher. I think an important thing to note here is you got to save some of your pitching for tomorrow. And everybody's playing 2 games tomorrow, so definitely throws a wrench in your plans for tomorrow when you're using up all your relief pitching here. But luckily enough for Walton, only the 3rd reliever they've used, and they've gotten some good mileage out of the other 2. So not going to have to crack into your starting pitching, but makes you definitely think about who your arms are going to be going into tomorrow.
The throwdown, and we will now get things started in the bottom of the 9th. Terrence Bowen will lead things off for Blessed Trinity, followed by Caden Dawson and Carson Zagarin.
I mean, if you need 3 runs, this is the best 3 people you could bring to the plate. Absolutely huge moment here for the top of the lineup for Blessed Trinity.
Farr stepping into a pressure cooker situation with his team taking a 2-run lead, in the top of this inning. But as you mentioned, this is a gauntlet he's going to have to run through to hold things down for Walton. Ooh, gets that in for a strike. Bowen,
all right.
Oklahoma State signee, did not expect that.
Gonna have to respect that one.
Yep.
Still got some questions for it, but
goes back to it, but that time it skips away from the catcher. I have a feeling the message is just don't give this kid a fastball. He does. He swings it 83.5, swings right through it. Count now 1-2.
I mean, that was the one, especially for Terrence Bowen. You wanted to jump on that one.
Comes a 1-2. Goes back to that breaking ball, able to get a hold of that one, sends it to 3rd. Jackson Taylor throws.
Easy.
Bowen showing off the wheels as he's going to be in there for a leadoff single.
Yeah, I mean, that one just took so long to get over there to third base, and it's a tough one to rush. You can't really blame Jackson Taylor for having to play back on that one, especially because if that ball gets past him, Terrence Bowen might find himself at third with the speed he's got. So good work by Taylor to make sure he didn't make a mistake, but Bowen reaches safely to start the inning.
And now we will see Caden Dawson, Georgia's #1 player in 27. See if he can keep the chain rolling for Blessed Trinity.
Farner picks off to first.
Carson Zagrin in the on-deck circle. I mean, it goes without question to say that Caden Dawson can tie this thing up with one swing. It's in for a strike.
Dawson not a fan of the call, but looks like it caught the outside half. Another attempt over to first.
Yeah, intent on not letting Bowen get much of a lead over there at first.
Which is not a bad idea. I mean, if you put Bowen on second and Dawson puts something into the outfield, Bowen's scoring.
Bowen runs a 6.7 360. Oh, 1. Dawson sends that foul, count now 0-2.
See what he's got on 0-2 for Caden Dawson. Never mind. He's going to throw back over to first base. And rightfully so, giving Terrence Bowen his respect.
Bowen with a 107.9 single and a 66.7 mile-an-hour infield hit.
Oof.
Defensive swing from Dawson.
Still 0-2. Farner holding his own in this at-bat. Just got Terrence Bowen on the back of his mind. Maybe on the front. Pulls the string on one. Bowen doesn't go.
It's not going to get Dawson to chase. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
One, two. Dawson swinging, sends that back up the middle. Second baseman has it, goes, flips to second for one.
Got him.
First for another. Second time in this game that Bowen and Dawson have been in the midst of a double play.
That's an absolutely massive defensive play right there for Walton. Farner extremely lucky to pitch out of that one and have Dawson put that on the ground, and good work by that middle infield getting it done.
Wyatt Reuter and Parker Dastu have more than held their own at second and short today, and now it's Carson Zagrin all down to the Gulf Coast Community College signee.
Just barely missed there on the breaking ball. Starts at 1-0.
Now make it 2-0. Wesley Bass in the on-deck circle. Now 3-0. Maybe Farr's breathing a little easier after getting through the Bowen-Dawson portion of the lineup, and got to reel it back in here. A little more work to do. Down the middle for a strike.
Now 3-1 with 2 outs. No one on base.
Farr delivers. Oh, that's in for a strike. Zagrin surprised by that call.
Blessed Trinity down to their last strike right here. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3-2 count for Zagrin.
Swing and a miss, and Carson.
Oh, he fouled it.
off.
Oh, man. I thought we had him. I thought he was done.
We got a little ahead
lease
of
on life.
ourselves, yeah. So Carson Zagrin stays alive as he's able to foul that one off. And he's now going to get himself a 2-out walk. That's going to bring up Cade Kiss.
Anything can happen, folks.
Kiss and Bass now await. Blessed Trinity tries to keep this thing going. Kiss, the Georgia Southern signee. First pitch misses glove side. Crowell actually was
calling
shaking
off the
it,
infielders.
telling everybody else to get away, but Jackson Taylor, Dastu, and Reuter said, we're in on this too.
Yeah, got to give your guys some love while he's up there and try and give him the confidence to get through the rest of this. You just need one.
Count is 1-0 to Kiss. Sends that foul. It's far on the 1-1. Breaking ball. That's in for a strike. Down to their last strike yet again.
See what he brings on 1-2. We've seen a healthy dose of the breaking ball.
Fargo swing and a miss and gets Cade Kiss for the game-ending strikeout. Walton 7-5 winners over Blessed Trinity to start things off for us in the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. What an absolute epic ball game.
Wow. Yeah, just what a dream start to your season if you're Walton. I mean, you can't ask for better. You're the number 21 team, so obviously give them their respect. These are both top 25 teams, but you just upset the number 2 team in the state. I mean, you can't ask for a better game from Walton. The bats came alive later in the game. The relief pitching was as stellar as you'll find. This was so great for Walton to start their season off with. 3
of their runs come via bases loaded walks. So when we start looking at player of the game for this, I think you got to go. I mean, I know Walker Killamette 1 for 4, but he ends up driving in 2 runs. They get 3 hits on 5 trips to the plate for William Crowell. So he's certainly a candidate as well. Wyatt Reuter gets 2 hits.
Jackson Taylor, yeah, 3 for 4.
I think Jackson Taylor 3 for 4 with an RBI. That 100-mile-an-hour infield single into the right side there to produce a run. Where's your vote?
I think I'm going to go with Taylor. I think throughout the game, just constantly getting things done, and then just the fact that he was so good that he got intentionally walked to load the bases. Now, they did get out of it, but, I mean, Taylor just stepped up in every moment he was able to.
All right, I'm on board. Jackson Taylor, the Clemson signee, is the player of the game as Walton is able to get a 7-5 win over Blessed Trinity to start things off in the Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. Just an absolute epic game to start things off, and we are far from done, so make sure you join us tomorrow as we're going to have a watch party for you. We'll have a 10 a.m. Window for you. We'll have Troup County versus Sequoia, Jones County against Cherokee, and Peach County against Campbell, so make sure you tune in for that one. You'll be able to find those on Facebook, YouTube, and X, all those, of course, for free. And make sure you're following LakePoint Sports on all our social media channels so you can get all the great content that we have here across campus. So until tomorrow, for Grayson, Rosen, and producer Maddie Bullock, I'm Cory McCartney, and we are signing off from LakePoint Sports.